All out. Pull up, put the whole conference in the doghouse. Leave them 6 feet, see me on the win streak. All-star status, go coach and the bench deep. Right. Offense on 10, how we run it? Your best ain't nothing, we gon' send them boys punting. Yep. Black and red, got them dead on arrival. Defense hunker down for the tie. Hey, hey, you don't want it with the dogs. Film guy on it, you don't want it with my dog. Break it down, play by play, that's the day-to-day. Yeah. They know we ain't come to play, boy, it's UGA. Right. Kirby smart, I cannot play the fool. Back to back, we did not come to lose. Back to back, like we got something to prove. Pay your dues, dog nation on the move. What's up?
We doing a little bit different around here.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Shut up and grind the tape.
The tape.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Them dogs in your face.
Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Shut up and grind the tape.
Shut up. Let's grind.
We ain't come to play, we ain't come to play. Them dogs in your face. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape. Shut up and grind.
Let's grind.
Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape. Shut up and grind. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro. Grind the tape, bro.
Shut up. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that? Let's shut up and grind some tape. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guide Network on a fabulous Thursday evening. We got a saying around here normally on Thursday, last show, best show. Tonight, a little bit different considering the boys been bums this week. Last show, first show for the homies.
To be fair, I wouldn't say we were bums this week.
National title on Monday. Didn't want to drive through the snow. HR department called and said, hey, might want to give them the night off on Tuesday because of the snow. Yeah. Despite the fact that you got a 4x4, the Jeep. I don't know if the Danger Ranger are going to be out here making it around in the snow.
2.3.
So yeah, last show, first show, we taking Wednesdays off during the Wednesday nights off during the year or during the off season, though we are doing Wednesday Q&A. So yours truly's put in a good 9 hours on camera already this week. Congrats for your first hour and second hour of the night.
Look, that just means that we've been storing up a week's worth of
just bacon takes
for one show. So Thursday night is about to be an absolute heater. That's what I'm getting.
The vibes are high around here. I do enjoy that. I felt the difference in doing these things solo, doing these shows solo, and now we in here and we got the homies and we're vibing out on a Thursday night.
This is the first time we've been together in like 9 days, I think.
That's too long.
Because he got sick last
Mother Nature got me twice in a week.
Honestly?
Yeah.
One time actual Mother Nature, right. The other time a different kind of Mother Nature.
You know, we talked about it. I was a little nervous. that that might have been the Petri dish that your wife works in that was going to give us some type of stomach bug, not self-sabotage that was your own cooking. Do you think that's what ultimately got you? We never talked about what the ultimate, saboteur was of your stomach ache.
Oh, no, it was not food. Morgan ended up getting it a couple days later.
Ooh. I'm not out of the woods either. My roommate's sick right now, so if I'm not here next week, I'm probably quite ill. So,
what? Sorry, I got a text message from people listening to the show that see the head coaching rankings, and it was another coach texting me about his coach. My God better be high. If not, we riot in the streets tonight. We do have a loaded show for you guys tonight. Paul Finebaum didn't wait long to kick off the offseason with some heat. We're going to be ranking the head coaches entering the 2025 season. No head coach bailing for the NFL. An interesting little offseason turn here. After a couple of off seasons of watching the narrative be every college football coach is whining, bitching, moaning, and complaining, ready to head somewhere else. Kind of had a relatively stagnant offseason this spring with regards to coaching movement. We're going to play a little game of fact or fake tonight. This is a Christian Kirby introduction to the show and much, much more. But I'm going to start with this. I want to challenge you guys, all right? You guys in the live chat specifically. You folks in the live chat right now, watching us live all of the time, watching that premiere film study. You guys showing up and showing out right now. You are the most avid listeners of this program. And I want to challenge you guys, as well as the commenters, to provide this right here. What is the number one thing you want to see this network add to its coverage, particularly this offseason and as we head into next year? We are always looking for every opportunity to grow this network. So what's something that you think has been missing around here? What's something that you think you want to be added to not just this channel, but maybe to the landscape of college football coverage as a whole? I want to get you guys' opinions and thoughts on that as well. We're really just trying to squeeze everything we can out of this place and really milk it for everything it's worth. Squeezing everything we can. You got anything that reminds you about squeezing everything you can out of something, Kirby?
You know, I think I do. I've got a good app for you. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscription and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/game on today. That's rocketmoney.com/game on. rocketmoney.com/game on. That's rocketmoney.com/game on. rocketmoney.com/game on.
rocketmoney.com/
And in case you weren't listening,
again,
that's rocketmoney.com/game on.
I just got to write that down because you said $500 million saved.
Yeah, and canceled subscriptions.
That's an average of $750 annually per user.
Basically,
that uses the premier subscription fees.
I wouldn't complain about that.
My gosh, shout out to Rocket Money. rocketmoney.com/game on. Shout out to those guys. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button on the channel today, okay? And if you're not already subscribed, what are you doing? What are you doing? Go ahead and hit that subscription button today. Before we get too far into the show notes, boys, I did break out a film study. First one of the quote-unquote off season. I think we have officially entered NFL draft season. It's about that time. We got Senior Bowl coming up in a couple of weeks out there in Mobile, Alabama. Draft starts here, right? Draft starts in Mobile. We'll see that, but it's already starting, right? The film evaluation process of what these guys put on tape is already started. We thought it would be fitting to start with the quarterback position. It's the moneymaker. It's the one most people are going to talk about. I think it draws the most eyes, at least on this network it does. So we broke out the film on Cam Ward, who going into this film series, boys, is my number one quarterback on the board. And I don't know if he's going to stay at that right now because of these notes that I came out of on this film study. Guys, he scares the crap out of me. Scares the crap out of me. If I were a general manager tasked with drafting a quarterback, I would be terrified to take this one for a multitude of reasons. And it's not the nonchalantness. Honestly, the nonchalantness does not bother me. The body language, the seeming like the game's too easy for him, playing it a little bit too cool, that stuff doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I don't think that's the stuff that really creates problems in his game. What creates problems in his game is the seemingly unwillingness to play on schedule and play on script. And here's an example. If you gave Cam Ward this year an option on 2nd and 4, and you said, hey, Cam, we got a hitch working 5 back down to 4, 100% chance we throw it right here. We're converting a first down. We're going to be in 1st and 10 the next down. Or there's a 23% chance you could scramble around, do something heroic, hit a backside post, and, you know, every single time, even if you tell them with that 23% chance of actually scrambling and making that play happen and that explosive happening, the other 77% chance is we're either going to end in a sack, a turnover, or some catastrophic type of play. He's going to stare at those two options in a vacuum, and he's going to take the 23% every single time. And to be honest with you, on the NFL level, being a great quarterback, in my opinion, is about being down-to-down disciplined and controlled, and then really pushing the accelerator when the opportunity presents itself. When the opportunity to be explosive in the NFL presents itself, you better be able to hit it. There's no doubt about that. But of the 35 dropbacks, the 40 dropbacks that you have on any NFL given Sunday, about 20 to 25 of those are going to require you to play on time and play within the system. And then, maybe 10 to 12 plays a game you're going to be able to or be asked to extend or create or play outside of the framework of the play. But most of these things are boring. Most of these things are discipline. Most of these things are consistency and playing within structure. And I think based off the film that we watched today, he really, really struggles with that. And guys, there is no doubt about it. There is undeniable arm talent with this young man. The spatial awareness is elite. You see it with some of these, I'm about to get sacked, running backs right to my side. He beat Virginia Tech, I think it was this year, with a little shuttle to a tight end while getting sacked. There is no doubt about the unique talents that this individual has. There is football knowledge on tape that is translatable to the NFL level. But boys, he scares me if I were a general manager.
I mean, it was scary watching the film because you broke it down, and you obviously you know what play is coming next because you have notes on it. But me, as just an observer of I have no idea what's about to happen each and every play. I don't know if he's about to make the greatest throw ever. I don't know if he's about to make the most catastrophic mistake ever. But the difference is, and I think you get one of these quarterbacks now essentially every single draft class where one play it looks like this is the clear-cut number one guy. I would draft this guy today. A couple plays later, that's I don't know if I would take that guy in the top 15. That guy scares me. I feel like he would break my career, those types of things. It truly is a stab in the dark almost with him.
Yeah.
Cam Ward strikes me as the type of quarterback prospect, and I think we'd all agree on this. He's a guy that can make anything happen at any time because he's that kind of talent, that kind of arm.
But anything can happen.
And he can make the simplest. He can make the simplest thing go wrong at any time as well. And it's like, what do you take with that? And I think that the league really, really prioritizes. And not only prioritizes, it benefits when you have guys that do the little things right first. There's been plenty of NFL quarterbacks that go on and have successful 10-year careers because they do every little thing right. They might not be able to make the most elite throws. They might not be able to, pull off amazing comebacks or elevate a roster, but if they do the little things right, they'll be in the league for a long time.
The guy I'm really interested to see and listen to talk about Cam Ward's game is John Gruden.
Ooh.
John Gruden's favorite quarterback in the NFL right now is Kirk Cousins. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. He loves quarterbacks that do everything right. They might not be able to do anything outside of the stuff that they could do right, but by God, they're going to do the stuff right. Okay? And he's talked about his affinity for Kirk, by the way. So that's not just me taking a shot at Kirk Cousins. I'm interested to see what he talks about and how he talks about a guy in Cam Ward who just looks at the easy stuff and is just like, that's boring. Get that out of here. We're here to make highlights.
Check downs. Never heard of her.
P and 10 playing on script. No way, sir. We are hunting. We are out here hunting today. But I don't think there's any doubt about the talent being undeniable. I also think there's a talking point here to be made available with regards to last year's draft process, right? We watched Caleb Williams last year in college and during his entire career in college do a bunch of stuff that you look at him and you're like, wow, man, look at him extend plays. Look at him run around. Look at him doing all this fancy stuff behind the line of scrimmage and then making an incredible throw. And then you watch him on Sundays and you're like, oh, crap, he can't run away from these guys. Oh, crap, you can't extend like that. Oh, duh. They told us for years you're not supposed to go backwards in the pocket because it makes it hard to get away from edge rushers rushing up the field. Mm-hmm. I wonder how many NFL execs like the Tennessee Titans who have 1-1 right now are looking at what Caleb Williams did, watching this tape from Cam Ward going, oh shit, none of that stuff's translating. We can't do this.
I mean, there was a game last year, I think it was against Arizona, where Caleb Williams dragged the linebacker 5 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, he's amazing, he's unstoppable. None of that will ever happen in the NFL. You have to be a Josh Allen, Cam Newton type body style for that to even be a feasible thing to happen.
And those guys never go backwards.
Never.
Josh and Cam go straight forward because they're big enough to run over folks and all that and run through arm tackles. But going backwards in this league is a no-no. You can't do it.
Well, I think the quarterback position too at the NFL is getting really conflicting because you had Bryce Young who went 1-1, had a really shaky year, so much so that this season he got benched. But then after being benched, started playing really well. So maybe you kind of start seeing that with Caleb Williams. Like if he plays really well in year two, I just think that you're getting a lot of different perceptions of quarterbacks, like what Atlanta did this year, where they take a first-round quarterback in Michael Penix. He sat behind Kirk, and then he looks really good the last 4 or 5 games of the season.
Kirk looked terrible.
Didn't do anything right. As you were saying, he does all the right things. Didn't do anything right this year, except turn the ball over, I guess. But I just think you're in a really conflicting spot right now with quarterbacks of what do you take, what do you do with them, that sort of thing.
Mr. Falcon's a homer over there. I got receipts. The moment they gave Kirk $100 million, I was like, hey, buddy, this ain't going to be good.
Oh, I was 5 weeks in, it was looking real crisp.
Yeah, that's how it always is.
Dude, Kirktober was fun.
Bro, Kirk
picked him up on fantasy.
I'm pretty sure 3 of the last 4 years, Kirk Cousins has led the league in passing yardage through the first 5 weeks.
It was fun while it lasted.
Boys, we don't have much time left. I think we're past the time limit,
it's way past.
to be honest with you, of people even caring about national title discussion topics. But we felt like squeezing one in today. Top 5 national title performances in the college football era. Go.
Do you want to go 5-1, or do you
however you want to do it, baby? I'm a build anticipation guy.
I'm gonna switch it up. I'm going 1-5 because I think my 5 is the best pick out of everything.
Okay,
interesting. All right,
you heard me right there. Number 1, Deshaun Watson, 463, 4 touchdowns, an incredible
463
game.
Total yardage.
Yes, 463 total yards. But an incredible performance in 2016.
That Bama defense was nuts that year too.
Yeah, and just absolutely did them up.
I don't think Bama gave up more than 17 points in a singular game going into that game and gave up 40 plus.
Yeah.
I'm going to go look that up, but I think that's the correct.
It sounds about right. Number 2, Devontae Smith in 2020.
Huh? Isn't that the Bama team that lost to Ole Miss?
I'm going to go look it up. Keep going, Jonathan.
Anyways, Devontae Smith in 2020 at number 2, 12 receptions, 215 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think it's one of the more incredible performances we've seen in the CFP era. Number 3, Joe Burrow, 2019, 463 yards and 5 touchdowns. Just absolutely masterful. That perfectly encapsulates everything he did that year. Number 4, Ezekiel Elliott in 2014, 246 for 4 touchdowns. Doesn't get any more dominant for running back on that type of stage. And then number 5, O.J. Howard, 2015, 5 receptions, 208 yards, 2 touchdowns.
The O.J. Howard game that got him drafted.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. By the way, that Alabama defense held teams to under 17 points in 12 out of 15 games.
Yep.
Okay, they gave up 40 to Ole Miss week 3, won that game 48-43. They gave up 30 to Arkansas, won that game 49-30. I believe that was late score garbage time points right there, and then gave up 35 to Clemson in that title game. So yeah, that you put up 435 yards of passing against that defense. You're a guy. I'll go with my top 5 right here. Number 1, I'm with you. Deshaun Watson versus Alabama. Joe Burrow versus Clemson. Number 2, 500 yards of total offense and 6 total touchdowns. Devontae Smith, number 3, versus Ohio State. 12 for 215 and 3 tuds. That was the old, get the hell out of Tampa 2 versus trips. What are you doing? We got a poor white linebacker running over the middle of the field with Devontae Smith. Bubba, you are in trouble. Number 4, Zeke Elliott against Oregon. 36 for 246 and 4 tuds. And then I got freshman Trevor Lawrence, number 5.
Really?
Versus Alabama.
I can't believe both of y'all left this guy off.
Who?
I'll go ahead and go on. Number 1, I have number 1 Ezekiel Elliott. That was a completely dominant performance. Cardell Jones had a great game, but you don't win that game without Ezekiel Elliott. Number 2, Joe Burrow against Clemson in 2019. He had 463 passing yards. We talked about that. Number 3, Deshaun Watson put the team on his back in that second half to really come against Alabama. He didn't really do much. That was mostly a second half performance. They did not do anything offensively in the first half against Bama. Number 4, I can't believe you all left this one off. Stetson Bennett against TCU. 304 passing yards, 18 of 25, 6 total touchdowns. Got pulled midway or right before the fourth quarter. Could have had more, a lot more, but simply just they were up 52-7 by the time he got pulled. So
the dig to Brock Bowers on the I think second possession of that football game might be the hardest thrown ball of Stetson Bennett's career. It was an absolute beam.
I can't believe y'all left that one on. And then number 5, I had the Devontae Smith game. One of the more underrated natty performances.
I felt like the Stetson performance. What's going on with me tonight? The Stetson performance was much more of a collective ass whipping.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah.
The team beat the shit out of them.
Well, it was that way for Alabama, too.
The classic Stetson Bennett roll out left with a free hitter coming off your right from your left because we sent everybody in a scan right. Primo stuff.
I think that was also like the fact that was his curtain call on everything that fans put him through for 2 years. For him to go out like that just perfect. Couldn't have written a better ending for him. So
no, the best ending you missed. It was the national title celebration at the parade. I went back and rewatched that speech the other day.
Legendary.
Wow, was he
legendary?
Having a good time.
Mm-hmm. Legendary, man.
Speaking of legendary boys, Paul Finebaum.
He's back
on his shit.
We need a nickname
off-season
for this.
Paul.
It's got to be something better, like off-season Paul. There's got to be something because he turns it up when the off-season comes. Like last year, Lincoln Riley was fired. Ryan Day got fired.
Ryan Day got fired this time last year.
Paul Finebaum fired Ryan Day.
Dabo Swinney was sent off to a church somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's fired. See you.
Yeah.
So maybe he wasn't on a legendary heater.
No, it was a heater.
On a hot take brigade.
It was a heater.
It was a heater.
He was setting up shots, and he set up another one.
Well, guess what? He's back again. Apparently today he killed Brian Kelly.
Didn't kill him, but kind of called him a quitter. So the quote on Brian Kelly is obviously people were talking about how, obviously with Notre Dame winning the national title this year, Brian Kelly became a point of contention. And Paul Finebaum had this to say about him leaving. He didn't leave there to go to LSU and win a national championship. He quit. He realized that he could not do it there. He knew he had limitations. I think in the end, he made a smart decision because Notre Dame would not have played for the national title had Brian Kelly stayed. He was not recruiting up to their level that was needed. Marcus Freeman is.
Wow. I would say that is killing a man.
Yeah, I mean, he all but fired him, but he...
I mean... The past week for Brian Kelly has been detrimental for him.
Yeah.
You see the graphics and it's like, oh, this is fantastic for LSU. They have 3 players in the Offensive Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year award. Well, he didn't do anything with them last year. They didn't even make the playoffs, and then on top of that, he had to watch Notre Dame play in a national title game. Detrimental week for Brian Kelly. And then on top of that, Paul Finebaum just pouring salt in the wounds. I mean, geez, man, just brutal.
Paul Finebaum sent a fireball his way.
Not to fact check my, close friend Paul Finebaum here, but Brian Kelly recruited like just as good as Marcus Freeman.
Oh yeah,
just as good.
Yeah,
they were a top 10 annual roster.
I don't think Marcus Freeman.
Now, is Brian Kelly as good of a football coach as Marcus Freeman? I think we all got our answer this year. I think so.
Maybe.
I think Marcus Freeman is a better football coach than Brian Kelly. I don't think Brian Kelly's ever single-handedly coached his way to a win. Where I watched a Brian Kelly coached football game, and I'm like, damn, the coach on the sideline was the reason they won today.
Yes. I've never seen Brian Kelly lose to NIU at home or Marshall.
Fair.
And let's also be fair.
I've just seen him lay eggs to start the season 3 years in a row.
That's happened for sure. For sure. I'm not like team Brian Kelly here, but I think let's wait on Marcus Freeman before we declare him as like this excellent.
You don't wait on handsome, you jump on handsome.
Whoa. Hey, yo. All I'm saying is I think Marcus Freeman had a really, really, really good 2024. I'm not ready to stamp and sign him and say this is a guy that gets the most out of his players. He's a fantastic coach, top 5 coach in the country. I don't know.
See, this is how you know Paul's on a heater, because you brought the Brian Kelly heat today, and I think I got duped by the internet. We couldn't find out if it was true or not, but I saw quotes from Paul about Ryan Day, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it was basically Paul saying, "What, I'm supposed to be impressed by you doing what you're supposed to do?"
if it is real, what a true take artist to go from preseason saying you're fired to now saying, well, you did what we all expected you to do.
This is the Hall of Fame pivot that only Hall of Fame take artists like Paul Finebaum can have. It's what we call the do it again take. Okay, someone defies what you say about them. You say, this guy can never win, fire him today. He goes and does it. You were supposed to do it. Go do it again, you bum.
Yeah.
That's exactly how you spin the take right there. It's a great job, Paul, even though I doubt you even said it. But I wouldn't put it past him.
I wish he did.
I wish he did. I hope it was true. You know what is true, boys?
What?
It's a great time to be over on Better. It's a tremendous time to be over there on Better, especially as the NBA begins to completely ramp up. As we got baseball around the corner. We're gonna have P's and C's reporting for camp. All right, we got all kinds of stuff to get in on the action on over there on Better. And if you use promo code Brooks today, you get a 100% deposit match up to $250 over there on Better. Okay, enter more than or less than on key player props over there on Better. Again, that promo code Brooks. All right, you'll get a 100% deposit match up to $200. Promo code Brooks over there on Better. Shout out to those guys supporting those who support us. Boys, there is a massive talking point that fell right flat on its face this offseason. Okay, the last 2 or 3 years, basically since Kirby Smart won a national title, beating Alabama, and then the next morning on 2 hours of sleep, sat in front of Reese Davis and was just pontificating upon how the world of college football coaching is in dismay. How all these good college football coaches are going to leave this sport. And guess what? From that moment and that offseason and the next offseason and last offseason, we saw mass exodus, if you will, from college football coaches. We saw position coaches retire. We saw position coaches leave college football programs to go coach in the NFL. We saw, head football coaches at schools like Boston College that were going 8-5 or 6-7 decide, you know what? I'm tired of being this type of college football coach and recruiting every year. I'm going to go be a defensive coordinator in the NFL. Okay, we saw that the last couple off seasons. This offseason, boys, we have seen really, really big college football coaches spurn NFL head coaching opportunities. It started with Dan Lanning, rumors about him getting connected to the NFL right after their loss in the Rose Bowl. And then it transgressed into Steve Sarkisian. And then that got turned down. And then it moved to Marcus Freeman. And now that got turned down. Of course, we did see Al Golden go from a defensive coordinating job at Notre Dame and go up to Cincinnati. But this mass exodus of college football coaches, at least this offseason, seems to have slowed down. And that's good news for the sport of college football. Yeah,
I actually kind of somewhat saw the inverse this season of Bill Belichick coming to UNC. Now, there is a little detail in that contract that makes me believe this is basically a 1-year rental of his buyout drops from $10 million to $1 million within the first 4 months of his contract. So that to me is a little fishy. But anyways, yeah, it is good to see that there are coaches sticking around, at least for this year. But I also think that may also have to do with the coaching market in the NFL. There's a lot of strong coordinators that are filling in head coaching roles right now and whatnot.
And the chat hits on a good point. These three guys that we just mentioned, right? They're in really, really good spots.
Yeah.
I mean, Lanning's in a great spot, arguably with the highest payroll in the sport. Not arguably. Yahoo Sports seems to believe that it is and reports it thus. Sark's at a great spot in Texas with the same situation. Notre Dame, all of those guys are in top 10 jobs, unquestionably. That being said, no college job is better than an NFL job, historically. Historically, that is what this sport lineage says. If you can get a pro job, you take them. Normal.
Well, I mean, the stress and the weight that you have to do diminishes so greatly when you go to the NFL. You don't have to worry about recruiting.
Your lifestyle.
You don't have to worry about paying players. You don't have to worry about getting strongholded by agents. Like, there's so much that goes on in the life of a college football coach. Even if you're at a top 10 spot where you can basically print money and get whoever you want, there's still things that you have to deal with that you would never even have to worry about in the NFL. So to see that these guys are saying, you know what, I'm happy doing this right now, and I don't need to go to the Chicago Bears, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and get some, relief of time off and not have to worry about as much, I think is a very good sign.
Yeah, I mean, the only one that would really make sense to me is Lincoln Riley, just because of the situation that he's currently in and where USC is at right now. I mean, an NFL organization is hiring a new coach because they're not in a great situation. Yeah. Whereas Steve Sarkisian is about to have Arch Manning as a starting quarterback.
I think the days of my man out there, Lincoln, being able to go get a head coaching job in the NFL right now are cooked.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
I would
if
agree
he wants
with
to
that.
go get an OC job, maybe, but I don't think he wants to do that.
Yeah. Why would you?
Cooked for now.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
But then again, all it takes is a special quarterback that an owner can get talked into. I'm the guy to handle his development. If you don't believe me, Cliff Kingsbury did this to Arizona.
Yep.
I'm a less than 500 football coach at Texas Tech, and I'm going to talk my way into an NFL job because I'm good with quarterbacks, and I one time coached Pat Mahomes and spent 8 months around Baker Mayfield as a walk-on.
He hasn't been doing bad, though.
Cliff, as an OC, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. As a head coach, but who's done well in Arizona?
True.
Other than old Funky Hat Man. Oh, what was his name? He came.
I
over,
like Funky Hat Man, honestly.
He came over to be the DC of the Super Bowl winning Buccaneers teams. Was the wide receivers coach for Antonio Brown and Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, man.
I know who you're talking about. I can see his face.
He wore not the fedora, but the little, what you would call a cap.
About. Is it
Bruce Arians?
Bruce
Damn
Arians.
it, Bruce Arians.
Yes.
There it is. Shout out chat. That's a dub for the chat, as the Twitch streamers say. Dub chat, big dub chat. I never
Yeah,
Let the
understood that.
dubs fly.
Let the dubs in the chat fly. Big dubs chat.
I think I'd be okay if I never heard you do that again.
Fact or fake?
Let's do it.
I'm interested to see how this is going to go.
So
this is you trying to dupe me.
Not even trying to dupe you. This is just basically, I'm going to give you a fact, and you're going to tell me if it's actually a fact or if it's fake.
Do you know ball?
Yeah, it's a pretty simple concept. It's basically
ball
true or
knowledge
false.
test.
It's a basically true or false game where I give you a fact. So I'll give you the first one here, and you should have a good idea of this one. Carson Beck led the SEC in passing touchdowns this season.
It's a fact.
You locking that in?
I don't like you doing this to me.
All right.
Don't play mind games on me here.
All right.
If I'm right, say I'm right. If I'm wrong, say I'm wrong.
That is false. Quinn Ewers finished the season with 31. Carson Beck had 28. Now,
This is regular season?
full season.
See, now this is where you got me. At the end of the regular season,
he was.
Carson was.
It's fair.
Misleading the witness. Misleading the witness.
You're not a witness.
Redacted.
You're not a witness. You're either way. All right, here's another one. Notre Dame's defense scored more touchdowns this season than Riley Leonard had interceptions in 2024.
Well, they scored 2 against USC.
And no,
I'm gonna go fake here.
Okay.
I think you're trying to trick me.
That's fake. But Notre Dame had 6 defensive touchdowns this season, which is pretty impressive.
That's big time. 2 scoop of scores won that game against USC.
2 pick sixes. Riley Leonard had 8, which is pretty good, but 6 defensive touchdowns is very impressive. All right, moving on. There was not a single quarterback this season to throw for 40 passing touchdowns. And that's
a fact.
regular season.
Oh,
postseason.
no. Regular season? That was the caveat.
Regular season and postseason. The whole entire season. So it's all.
I thought Cam Ward got 42.
Cam Ward had 39.
So fake.
Fake.
Yeah, no one had 40. Interesting.
Florida State's Ryan Fitzgerald did not miss a single field goal this year.
I thought Ryan Fitzgerald was a Buffalo Bill.
I mean, there's
different. That's a Fitzpatrick.
Ryan Fitzgerald's a pretty
my
common
bad.
name, I would say.
I would say that's fake.
I thought you were going to let that slide. True.
It's true. You went 13 for 13.
Hell yeah.
Only had-
and I'm
only
4 for 4 right now, baby.
What?
3 for 4?
3 for 4. There you go.
Only 13.
Here's my final one. The Big Ten was the only Power 4 conference to have a team with 2 losses or less. And that's regular and postseason. The Big Ten was the only conference in all of college football to have a team finish with 2 losses or less.
Well, the SEC did not do that. So,
The Big 12 didn't do that.
nope.
The ACC didn't do
not
that.
do that.
No. SMU had 2. No, they had 3. They lost to Clemson in the ACC championship game and BYU and then Penn State. I'm going to say true.
It's true.
4 for 5. You're bad.
The SEC is washed.
Which is funny because Ohio State and Oregon there were 2 of them. They had the only 2 teams with less than 2 losses. By the
I
end of
think
the
next year is the year we got three lost teams in the college football playoff.
We almost had it this year.
I think it's going to happen next year.
If they get rid of the auto bid, yeah.
Got any more for me?
That was all.
True or false? This is the best show on the internet.
Oh, that's true.
It's true.
It is decided. I'm glad that $15 prop from Amazon that we did that one time still comes.
What was the original segment for that? Where we would debate other people?
We would bring on guests and put them into a court situation and have them defend the football team that they cover. We only did it once or twice.
We did twice.
We did it twice. Once with Pittinger from FSU, and then once with Kyle Henderson from Alabama.
Well, I would love to go back and watch that FSU one. Just see how that aged. They got a snow day, though. Did you see that?
They did.
Florida State got a snow day. Dude, good
Awesome.
For them. They
Good for
deserve
them.
it after 2 intense seasons. You need something to cheer you up.
I love the old, anti-LSU folks seeing the snow at Death Valley and tweeting out "Hell hath frozen over."
I like the Jordan Hare one better.
Oh, Bama fans doing that one.
Mm-hmm.
Classic Bama stealing people's jokes. can't be original. That Alabama Crimson Tide.
Big facts.
Top 5 football coaches entering the 2025 season, boys. We're going to do this. Instead of doing top 10s, we're doing top 5s. And what we discovered going into this, I think we all agree there are 6 football coaches that are in one category in and of themselves.
Yes.
Okay. And then after that, there is an argument for 7 through 10, and there's a noticeable drop off. And you'll notice once we get there. Here's mine. All right. Starting from number 5, actually starting with an OLI. I got an OLI with Steve Sarkisian at number 6.
Sark is number 6, huh?
Yeah. Number 5, Dan Lanning. Number 4, buying into the Marcus Freeman stock. Give me enough of it. Give me as much of it as you can possibly give me.
This is the worst time to buy Marcus Freeman stock.
Number 3, Dabo Swinney. Yep, he did it. He stayed inside the top 3 of college football coaches and survived the winter storm, honestly. Like, he's going to get out of all of this NIL stuff smelling like roses.
He's even using the portal now.
Now he's using the portal, but he's going to get out of this. Yes. I ain't out here paying my players, not high school kids. We'll pay them once they get here. He's going to get out of this smelling like roses because we're going to get rev share at some point, and Dabo's still going to survive all these down years with the worst of it being 9-3, ending with a 6-game win streak, then turning around and winning the ACC. You got a look on your face like you don't like this.
I'm just really surprised you put Dabo ahead of Sark. But
number 2, Ryan Day.
Valid.
How about it? Number 1, Kirby Smart.
I think 1 and 2 is probably the least debatable of this list.
I would agree with that.
I had Dan Lanning at 3. I had Sark at 4, and I had Dabo at 5.
A little too high for me for Dan Lanning right now. Still just kind of in that waiting phase, in my opinion. Like, obviously, great head coach. Mm-hmm. Definitely in that top 5 range. But I don't know. I don't know if he's top 3, in my opinion.
Go beat Michigan, will you?
Fair.
He did beat Michigan.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Ryan Day. That's on me. I wasn't listening.
I had Marcus Freeman at number 5.
No, guys, it's 2.
Why are you so anti Marcus Freeman? You jealous of his hairline?
It's 1 year. It's 1 year. He had a
it's not.
Marcus Freeman has accomplished more than Dan Lanning has as a head coach.
Oh, cook him. Don't cook friend of the show, Dan Lanning.
No, I'm not. Dan Lanning is number 6 for me. And I flip-flop Marcus Freeman and Dan Lanning, but Marcus Freeman has accomplished more than Dan Lanning as a head coach right now. That's why he's number 5. It's why Steve Sarkisian is number 4 right now for me. It's why Dabo Swinney's number 3. It's why Ryan Day's number 2 and Kirby Smart's number 1.
I don't merit 1 year of your accomplishments. As great as this season was for you, I don't think that shoots you up into the ether of being a top 5 coach. Mike Norvell would be a top 5 coach this time 365 days ago, and he's not in the top 10 list of any of our list, correct? He had 1 really, really good year, and he had years ahead of that where things were on the upward trajectory. He said, hey, things seem to be turning around. I'm not ready to buy into the Marcus Freeman side, and you can blame Mike Norvell for this, but it's it's 1 year.
You're scared.
It's not even that I'm scared. I think Marcus Freeman's gotten a lot of credit to his deserving his tech. Like, he deserves a lot of the credit he gets this year, but I'm not ready to stamp him as, oh my gosh, he's one of the top 5 coaches in college football because of a 4 or 5 game stretch they had, but where they beat up on inferior opponents in the rest of the regular season. You still lost to NIU this year. You still lost to Marshall last year. You've still shown that there's a lot of cracks in the dam.
But like, what justifies putting Dan Lanning over Marcus Freeman right now?
Because you've had 2 years of consistent play. You won the Big Ten this year. You've been a top 10 program throughout the last 2 seasons. So you've consistently been there. From the second you got to Oregon, that program has gotten better. And from your second year on, you've been a top 10 team. Notre Dame has not been that since Marcus Freeman got there.
So beating South Carolina last year with Tyler Buckner as his quarterback's not impressive?
It's impressive, but again, like, I'm not
going 10-3 last year with Sam Hartman as his quarterback. Not impressive?
Not impressive. I think that...
the comment of he hasn't done enough. He's 9-4 year 1 as a head football coach. 10-3 the year after that. Then plays for a national title in year 3. We live and die by year 3 confirmation. Did he not prove in year 3 that he is confirmed as a great football coach?
He's confirmed that he's a very good football coach and that can get you to the national title game. I'm not certain that it's...
I don't know how you pass year 3 test other than winning and beating Ohio State in that football game.
Follow it up with another.
Do it again.
Do it again. You don't have to go to the Natty. You don't have to win the Natty. You don't have to have a perfect 13-0 season, but show that there's not like some crazy drop-off. Don't do what Shane Beamer did. Don't do what Mike Norvell did. Don't have these year 3 explosions and then fall off a cliff the next year.
Kirby, he lost 9 of 11 starters from the defense a year ago and played for a national title this year.
Great.
He did reload.
great. Okay, all I'm
he
saying
did reinvent his offense. He did reinvent his football team.
I'm not ready to stamp it yet.
Fair.
I'm not stamping anything. I'm just saying I think right now he fits at 5.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put him in front of. There's 5 guys I wouldn't put him in front of. I'll just say that. If you want to put him at 6, fine, but I don't want to put him in 5 yet. It's too soon.
Okay. All right. Well, let's pick the coach who wins the Natty next.
Oh, you mean their first Natty?
Yeah, okay. Their first Natty next.
You're
really going to hate my list now. You're really going to hate my list because I got Marcus Freeman number 1. I think he gets one. I got him, then Dan Lanning, then Sark, then James Franklin, then Kenny Dillingham.
Kenny Dillingham,
yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I'm fighting Kenny Dillingham's. Come on now.
Read it off again.
Number 1, Marcus Freeman. 2, Dan Lanning. 3, Sark. 4, James Franklin. 5, Kenny Dillingham.
Now, I would not have Marcus Freeman number 1 on this list. I would have Steve Sarkisian number 1 on this list.
Yeah,
I would go Sark number 1 on this
list. That's a good call.
Yeah. Especially consider, like, I'm looking at this of what does your 2025 window look like?
Facts.
I think on the surface, Texas's window for next year looks better than Notre Dame's does right now. It's another reason why Dan Lanning is number 2 on this list for me, because I think Oregon's roster right now looks more complete and looks like a national title contender more than Notre Dame's does. I even have James Franklin ahead of Marcus Freeman right now because I think he's retending a lot of his roster and they're looking pretty good going into next year. Some are even putting him number 1 in the country right now.
Shout out Joe Klatt.
But I'm just saying. And then Josh Heupel was number 5 for me.
I like the Josh Heupel. I think James Franklin definitely needs more love on this one. I put Kalen DeBoer with a question mark. I don't think he's on that list, but I do think that's an interesting talking point because what is Alabama going to be these next 2 years? I don't think Kalen DeBoer wins a national title, but it is an interesting one to talk about. And like you said, like Dan Lanning should be on that list. Marcus Freeman, I'm totally fine with putting on that list. Josh Heupel is an interesting one as well. Like I have a question mark next to that. James Franklin, Steve Sarkisian is probably my number 1. I think Texas has gotten closest the last 2 years out of any of these coaches. It feels like Sark is at this point now where Ryan Day was these last few years, where it's like they get so close every time and they just stumble right before they can cross the finish line. Obviously, Ryan Day was finally able to do it this year. I think Steve Sarkisian will be the one to finish that next.
Yeah, I mean, you put up enough shots like Sark has, you get enough cracks at a national title. It feels like eventually one of them is going to fall. So it seems like he would be the next, at least the obvious choice. I put that in quotations because it really isn't obvious, but you never know.
I think Sark's the obvious answer looking back at it now. He's got the team best and most prepared to go win a title in 2025. I understand the hype around Notre Dame moving forward next year. I just wonder what they're going to do with replacing all of the leaders that they had on their football team this year. The Jack Keisners of the world, the Xavier Wattses of the world, the Riley Leonards of the world, the Riley Millses of the world. You're going to have to replace a lot of leadership in those rooms at Notre Dame. I know they returned 16 of 22 starters. I understand. But it's not just it's not just what you return, it's who you lose and the type of people that leave the building, especially one that was a roster that was that connected. Now, maybe that was part of Marcus Freeman's doing. Maybe that's the magic, right? We'll have to find out coming up next year. I like those lists from you guys. Which fan bases should be more excited this next year? So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to pit 2 fan bases against you, all right, or against one another, and you're going to have to tell me which one of those fan bases should have the most optimism and joy going into the next year, starting with these 2 SEC programs. Going into next year, who should be more excited, Florida fans or Tennessee fans?
Tennessee, Florida.
Huh?
Florida.
Why?
That's an assertive Florida for me. Why? Because your program has been in the dumps outside of 1 year, essentially since the last decade and a half. You've had some up and downs. You haven't had anything like this at the quarterback position for what people think DJ Lagway is going to be. It feels like you're finally getting out of a dark tunnel. You're finally getting into the light this next year. You have some excitement for the first time. Like, in years prior, heading into a season, Florida fans like, golly, go 8-4, please. Like, please, can we go 8-4? This year, it's like, maybe we can actually make something happen. Maybe we can make a run at the SEC title. Maybe we can make the playoffs. You haven't heard those words from Florida fans in a long time.
The correct answer, I think, should be Florida for all the reasons Jay Will said.
Make the case for Tennessee optimism.
I was just saying, that said, Tennessee fans are absolutely going to buy into the hype here. It's year 3. It's Nico's 3rd year in the program.
Yeah.
year 2 of Nico starting. Josh Heupel has proven that he can have absolutely monstrous defenses. I mean, Tennessee was a defensive-led team this year. They made it to the playoff. Obviously, we know what happened against Ohio State, but people will talk about how that Ohio State team was one of the greatest of all time. That's a separate discussion, but you can use that to justify why you lost this year. Well, I think Tennessee fans are going to come in this year, and to their credit, they usually do, very excited, very hopeful, and having a lot of thoughts that they can win the national championship.
I mean, Tennessee should be excited because they have a returning starter in the SEC, which a lot of teams cannot say. A lot of teams on their schedule cannot say. Georgia's going to have a new starting quarterback. Alabama's going to have a new starting quarterback. Kentucky's going to have a new starting quarterback. Mississippi State's going to have a new starting quarterback. Like, there's a lot of teams on their schedule this year that they're going to have the advantage over at the quarterback position, at least coming into the season. Now, that could obviously change. I mean, especially, too, like, you get Georgia early on in the year. You get, like, a relatively fresh Gunnar Stockton, a guy that's still probably figuring out what his role in the offense is and where his groove is, and it's at home for you. So, like, you get some big-time matchups at home this year. You probably feel good going into that Alabama matchup. So, while the other pieces may not be the best, it may not be like you maybe didn't address wide receiver like you hoped you would this offseason. You got 2 returning guys at running back that played really well behind Dylan Sampson. You brought in Star Thomas from Duke. You got David Sanders coming in at tackle. Like, you got Boo Carter on defense.
Brought a guard in over from Arizona that they expect to make immediate playing time at a position of need for them as well. I do think there is a reasonable, hey, why didn't y'all make bigger plays in the portal? That being said, wasn't a whole lot available in the portal this window. So don't know if they were going to be able to make transcendent differences in that acquisition period anyways. What's up, Kirby? Not
only that, like, this Tennessee schedule has easily 10-2 written all over it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
they're going to be able to run the ball.
Mm-hmm. They play Syracuse and Atlanta week 1. That'll be an interesting game. They should win that game, but that could be a big win nonetheless.
Did Carl White end up at Florida State?
Yes, he did. But you get to play Georgia at home early in the season. Obviously, Alabama is going to be in Tuscaloosa, but then it's Oklahoma, Kentucky, Florida, Vanderbilt. There's not a lot on this team on the schedule where it's like, those are some tough SEC matches. So, very favorable. I think Tennessee fans should be more excited.
And look, you mentioned it. Dylan Sampson was a very special football player, and the chat's talking about it right now. I loved what Deshaun Bishop put on tape this year, as well as the Peyton Lewis. Mm-hmm. He's a burner. That kid can really get after. I think he was a 10-3 guy in the 100 coming out of high school. So they have plenty of talent and, additions or actually placements or place holders at that running back position. It's the weaponry that I have concerns about, right? How much development are they going to get out of Mike Matthews? How much are they going to get out of this Star Thomas cat out of Duke? Lost Holden Stays to the portal as well at the tight end position. So, and I think Kitzelman, did he graduate?
I think so.
We don't know. Either way, got thin at tight end. And I know they have a kid out of Collins Hill that they signed several years ago that's still on the roster. Where's number 9 for them? Pretty good football player, but they have gotten thin at the weaponry position and got even thinner during this portal window. Lost the Webb kid, too, from McEachern, who played for them for a while. So it's just interesting losses out of that room. All right, on to our next one. Who should be more excited next year? Ole Miss fans or Oklahoma fans?
Ooh.
Both might be staring 8-4 in the face.
I feel like it's got to be Oklahoma because
a happily 8-4
after the excitement that you built up this past offseason heading into this year.
Kitzelman's back, got the JUCO rule. Shout out Navy guy.
Attaboy.
Shout out Diego Pavia, the rare Vanderbilt assist to the Vols.
Considering the hype around your football program entering last season, it's not going to be that high. So this is probably going to feel like somewhat of a lesser offseason for you. Like, because you're like, is Austin Simmons going to look as good as he did for that one drive against Georgia?
Wow.
Like, is that what we're going to get for 12 games in the regular season?
He looked very good.
He did. Whereas Oklahoma fans, I mean, it feels like you could only go up. You got John Mateer at quarterback. That's going to be interesting. That probably feels like an automatic upgrade on offense. But you did lose some weapons also on your offense.
Were the weapons any good that they lost?
That's what I'm saying.
Question.
No.
Apart from the one wide receiver who transferred to LSU, Nick Anderson, that was a freshman All-American that got hurt this past year. I think he took a selective red shirt.
I wouldn't doubt it.
But anyways, they lost every weapon that was in the wide receiver room, but they couldn't gain an inch of separation all year last year anyways.
No.
So, yeah, hopefully they replace that. But I would lean more towards Ole Miss here, honestly, because 8-4, if you go that, you feel like you over-exceeded. In year one, starting with Austin Simmons, you go into year two of starting with Austin Simmons, you think, hey, might be able to make a real run at this for a college football playoff. You go 8-4, 7-5 again at Oklahoma, you might be staring at your coach a little funny.
Yeah. Yeah, but going 8-4 after you were supposed to be a national championship contending team, coming in and saying, "Oh, we're gonna."
Who in this conversation is supposed to be national title contending?
Neither one, but I'm saying Ole Miss last year.
Okay,
to go from last year being like, "Hey,
I see what you're
this
saying.
is our year to win the national title," to we're gonna go 8-4 this year.
There could be some hangover from you didn't live up to your expectations last year for Ole Miss fans. Anyways,
there's probably a lot more tension around the Ole Miss program right now simply because if they didn't live up to expectation. I think what Oklahoma did against Alabama, being able to shut them down, winning that game 24-3, towards that end point of the season really boosted things up for them. It kind of made Oklahoma fans go, okay, you know what? Maybe Brent is kind of the guy we need. Maybe things are turning around here.
Is this run that they're trying to make at Jim Knowles reportedly make you feel? It's making me feel that they feel differently about Brent Venables than the rest of us do. Chat's already saying he's toast. He's cooked. You're not making a run at Jim Knowles to be your defensive coordinator for the price tag that it's going to take to steal him away from Ohio State if you think you're about to fire your head coach next year. Unless Jim Knowles is your head coach in waiting. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, it could be.
That could be something going on there. But it's just weird that they're making a run at arguably the sport's most expensive and hireable defensive coordinator for a coach who might be a lame duck.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a secret that, like, he's on kind of thin ice. Like, we talked about this last year. He got an extension and a raise. It was like $2 million a year. It was nothing. Like, it was basically Oklahoma saying, we're doing this to put faith in you in public so you can go out and you can recruit and things like that, but there's no way that, like, we feel secure with you. And obviously this season did not go well. The offense had very high ups and downs. Jackson Earl did not live up to the hype. You had to watch Dylan Gabriel, who transferred away, have a very good season with Oregon, was a Heisman finalist. I mean, just all around, not a great season for Oklahoma. But I still think that you can have more optimism coming into this year than you would if you're an Ole Miss fan.
Still some smoke about that Knowles to Oklahoma stuff. Reports that I read just before the show say that if it's not done by Friday, it won't happen. And the closer we get to Friday, the closer it is to him staying at Ohio State. I don't know. I don't have specific sources myself. That's all secondhand, me reporting what's being reported or reading what's being reported. All right, next one. Who should be more excited to enter in 2025? Michigan fans or Alabama fans?
Jeez.
That's a really good one.
I like this segment.
I like this one too.
This is the hardest one. I don't know. I have no idea.
All right, let me make it easier for you. Michigan game one has announced they're going to start Bryce Underwood.
Michigan fans.
Right?
I guess Michigan fans didn't.
All right, what if it's we going to ride Orgy?
Well, he's gone.
What if it's we going to ride the walk-on?
Oof,
Not
no.
great.
No.
We're going to ride the walk-on for 3.
No.
Here's the thing that makes this question so interesting.
Where'd Orgy transfer to?
Was it? Let me figure it out.
Here's the thing that makes this question so interesting.
The P5 tight end?
Where did he go?
We're in a situation now where two fan bases are
UNLV.
are in places that they've never been before in my lifetime, at least. Like, Michigan still has their national title 2 years ago, and for all extensive purposes, I think it's fair to say that they kind of exceeded expectations toward the end of the year. Won a really good game against USC, beat Ohio State, beat Alabama to close out the season. Like, 2 of your best wins were the final 2 games of the year for you. Coming off of that, you look at Alabama, they're also in a situation where they've never been in. They've lost 4 games for the first time since I think it was Nick Saban's first career season. Like, it's been an entire adult lifetime since Alabama's been coming off of a season this bad. So
is it all intents and purposes or all extents and purposes?
I think it's intensive.
Intense? Like intent with an S or intensive purposes?
Intensive.
Like with an IVE at the end of that?
IVE?
You said intensive.
Yeah, like intensive.
This is news to me.
What made you think of that?
The way you said it.
Oh.
Intents and purposes. See? Yeah. INTENTS and purposes. With all intents and purposes.
Yeah. Either way. To me, it's a model.
All right. If Underwood's a starter, it's definitely Michigan. I'm just looking at the schedule right now. You got to play Ohio State at the end of the year. No brainer. Other than that, you got a road game against Oklahoma.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
You got Washington, ? At USC, at Nebraska, ? Like, You got a lot to be excited about if Bryce Underwood is indeed your starter.
Somebody said Ty Simpson is Brock Vandegrift without the gym aura. No, sir. No, sir. Ty Simpson is Garrett Nussmeier light. That's what he is. We don't know if he's going to make tragic mistakes. But hey, hear me out. Coach's son, 6'1.5", 205 pounds, great processor, really leads the team the right way, kind of limited physically.
All right.
That's the Nuss bus.
I'm with you.
That's the Nuss bus.
I think Michigan has more reason to be excited. That's my final answer.
And by the way, if Ty Simpson's Garrett Nussmeier, Bama fans should be happy, right?
It'd be a lot different than what you've had in the past couple of years at quarterback.
I don't think Bama fans are going to be very happy with Garrett Nussmeier.
Okay.
Like, that fan base still expects Heisman contending quarterbacks, and if not, you better be in the national title.
They've had one Heisman contending, two. Tua and Bryce, right?
AJ McCarron was one that year, too.
AJ McCarron was in New York?
I don't think he was in New York, but he was a Heisman contending quarterback.
I was about to say, man, we out here doing a lot for game management skills. All right, who should be more excited going into next year? Oregon fans or Georgia fans? I think this answer is easy.
You think it's easy?
Yeah, I think it's easy.
I guess my answer goes to Oregon because that schedule is
the schedule. That's
cake.
why it's easy.
Yeah. It is cake.
The schedule is so much of a cakewalk. It makes Indiana's schedule from last year look like a nightmare. That's what Oregon's schedule looks like.
Yeah, Mac Jones was a finalist too.
Oh yeah, that's right. 2020. You know, got to ride sidecar to Devontae Smith in New York. Yeah.
But no, I think the answer is Oregon for that schedule. And you just saw yourself, in your first year in that conference, you can go in and win the whole damn thing. Now, playoff went how it went. That is what it is. But you can go through that entire conference schedule, not slip up, go 13-0 into the playoff. Like, you have to be feeling pretty good. Georgia, you don't know what you're getting with Gunnar Stockton. You don't really know. There's a lot of offensive pieces. You have a lot of things to answer at the wide receiver spot. So I'm going to say it's Oregon just because of you probably feel better coming in just because won the schedule and you've seen that you can do it already.
There's definitely more unknown at Georgia right now just because there's a lot that you haven't exactly seen. Like, you haven't seen what next year's offensive line is going to look like because you lost so many names there. You have an idea of what quarterback is going to look like. You have an idea of what the running back room is going to look like. You really have no idea what the wide receiver room is going to look like based off the additions that you made other than names like Dylan Bell and Humphreys. And then on the defensive side of the football, you lost quite a few names. And Oregon has questions too, of course. They have some unknown. Like, they have unknown at the quarterback position. You can project what you think Dante Moore is going to do at Oregon, but you really don't know what that exactly is going to look like. But the one thing you do know for sure is that Oregon's schedule is really easy, and the other thing you know for sure is that Georgia has another tough schedule this year.
Chat's sitting on the idea that the Big Ten needs to fix their scheduling because of what Oregon's got going on. This is every conference. Every conference has scheduling imbalances. We saw it happen this year with the SEC. Texas played one ranked opponent all year in the regular season, and it was Georgia. Okay, and Georgia played 5. Y'all have it in the SEC too. You just don't think about it as much because you think, Kentucky's a higher quality opponent than Purdue.
I think the Big Ten is worse right now, though, because at least the SEC, they said, all right, first year schedule of expanded SEC, it's going to be the same thing next year. We're just going to flip-flop the venues.
Yeah.
The Big Ten is cycling through this every year. It's a new schedule that they're creating every year.
So you really got a lottery going on.
Exactly.
Well, I think I would rather have the opportunity to have a good one next year than know I got F'd for 2.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
Fair.
Yeah.
Which, Oregon had the tough one this year in comparison to everybody else.
Yeah.
Ohio State had a tough one this year. What does their schedule look like next year? Is it a breeze?
I don't think it's a clear
they're
breeze.
guaranteed to play Michigan. Oregon's not on the schedule because Ohio State's not on Oregon's.
All right, here we go. They got Texas week 1.
So that's an out-of-conference schedule, the game that they scheduled.
They have Illinois, who's ranked right now, Penn State, and then Michigan. So that's Big Ten standards.
That's 4 big ones.
For Big Ten
3.5, 3.25.
Yeah.
Illinois will never classify as a big one.
It was in 2007.
That's right. Who was that quarterback back then?
I don't remember. He's kind of cool, though.
Oh, man.
I'm going to look it up.
The Illinois quarterback?
Yeah.
Oh, man. He had a visor.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
He had two good running backs with him.
As soon as you said the visor.
Yeah, man. Juice Williams was the running back, right?
Yeah, it was Juice Williams, Eddie McGee.
Yeah. What a callback. They made a Rose Bowl, didn't they?
Yeah, that was
got
fun.
just obliterated, didn't they?
Sad. Fun team to watch.
Smacked around that field.
Fun team.
Rashad Mendenhall. What a name.
Oh, yeah.
What a name. First round name. Juice Williams and Rashad Mendenhall.
We should honestly pick one show out of the year in the off season, obviously, when like content is super down.
Just rattle off
and
names.
just sit down and rattle
the
off
boys
old
do.
names.
Do nothing but ripping names.
Like a middle school lunch.
I like this.
I like it.
That'll be
I'm thinking of names right now.
No, dude, wait. Hold on.
Store them away.
All right. Should we watch some tape? We got 3 minutes to kill.
Okay.
I texted you a couple names. Let's go look at that very first name we pulled up. That is Zion Ely. He is an edge rusher committed to Maryland right now. Per consensus rankings, is the number one edge rusher in all of high school football right now out of the DMV, committed to Maryland. Excited to look at this. I haven't seen this at all. All right, let's go up to the board. I think this is one of these 6'5", 240 guys. Got plenty of length and plenty of athleticism based off what I've seen from the scouting profile.
Just waiting on an ad.
Waiting on ads. We don't do ads around here for Huddle. What we do is try to read off is ads for our friends over at Better. If you haven't headed over to Better already, feel free to do so. Also going to ask you in the local hour to double rip a Rocket Money read. We'll figure out how to get that done here in a second. All right, number one edge in the nation, my man Zion Ely. Oh, he plays for St. Francis. Okay, so I've seen this guy play. All right. Oh, we got some twitch. Oh, and a jump move right there. That's against Duncanville. Hey, left tackle. Can we play the play left tackle? Jesus, man. Don't give me the surrender cobra in the middle of the snap left tackle.
Bro, he hit the Will Levis.
Come on, man.
That was what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, what the hell am I supposed to do? This is St. Joseph's up there in I think the New Jersey area. That's a big school as well. And this is them playing Matter Day, guys. This is nothing but dudes that they're playing. All right, I'm starting to understand. It's a big, long football player. Will you give me heights and weights on this, Jonathan? Mm-hmm. This looks to me like a 6'5.5", maybe bordering on 6'6", 230-pound athlete.
Who'd you say he was committed to?
He's committed to Maryland.
6'3.5", 220.
Really? He's not very tall. He looks way taller on this tape.
It says he plays tight end. I hope he gets some tight end tape.
Guys, he looks way taller than 6'3.5". He must have ridiculously long arms.
Damn, what an effort play.
Oh, that looked like yes.
Must have ridiculously long arms.
Jeez.
Yeah, I like his motor. You pointed it out. It's a good effort play like a couple snaps ago. I also like his hand fighting skills. He's doing a really good job getting hands off from offensive tackles right here.
His hands are vicious.
Yeah.
I think his gait is a little wide.
Kirby, you know what I love to see? I love to see that we've got pass rush skills and hand fighting skills from both the left and the right side.
Yes.
We don't see that a lot in the high school level of you knowing how to use your hands on both sides. You're ambidextrous, as we call it around here on this channel, a little amphibious. Mm-hmm. All right, you can swim on land. You can walk in the water. You know what I mean? I love the comp, man. The level of competition that he's playing right here. All right, we got to finish that, though. Shout out Keelan Russell right there. What a play to avoid this pass rush. This is the Alabama commit right here, folks. Or the Alabama enrollee. He's already there. What a play by 12. Then a little bull rush right there. We've seen kind of everything. I would have liked to see you flat back that guy, really engage in the bull rush once you see red go.
The only thing I want to see now is set an edge and a run.
Yeah, really extend, hold the point, outside arm free.
Pass rush is where you make the money, so.
All right, I don't think the bull is that strong. No. I don't think he'd go. Once we key red, man, I want to see you run through a motherfucker's chest. That's what I want to see. Now, granted, he's playing, that's a great bull hop from that left tackle. He's playing good offensive lineman. That's just him running down the ball carrier. I'm with you, Kirby. I want to see you hold the point. All right, he's obviously got some insane twitch.
Yeah.
I want to get the official arm. Oh, that's a face mask. I want to get the official arm length of this. So, hey, Director of Player Personnel Department folks that watch this channel, can you get me an arm length on this individual? Because if he is 6'3.5" and doesn't have 33.5-inch arms, doesn't have 34-inch arms, I got questions about length from a 5-star perspective. All right, when we're ranking 5 stars, we're ranking guys that we think will be first-round draft picks. We'll be interested to see the general arm length on that because 6'3.5" ain't it. 6'3.5", 230 pounds isn't first round quality height, weights, and metrics.
No, it's not.
Good film though there from Zion Lee. Good hour here on the Film Guy Network. We got another one coming up right now. It is our local hour. Some people say it's our best. See you on the other side.
It says he has an 80-inch wingspan.
80-inch wingspan. That's not huge. Okay, we need 82.5 plus at the edge position. On to our next hour. Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? What's up? Really like that. You really like that? Let's shut up and grab some tape. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back in to the Film Guy Network for another hour here on the local hour. All right, we're finna talk that dog and get after it just a little bit on this local front. I know you guys got shorted the last couple of days because your boy's been in here by himself, and filling an hour ain't all that easy. Filling two definitely ain't all that easy. Let's talk about it. We got a loaded one for you. Final Fantasy update. We're going to take an L on tonight's show. Got another round of exit interviews. You guys seem to really, really like that segment. It was a fan-initiated segment, a listener-initiated segment, so we're going to get right back after that tonight. Should Brock Bowers win Offensive Rookie of the Year, there's really only one other nominee, and he happened to have one of the greatest seasons in rookie history. We're going to break out some nostalgic tape. I also have a big board for you guys tonight. We're going to look at the defensive line prospects available in the 2026 class that you need to know. Year 3 of Mike Bobo incoming. We've got some stats on what that means or what that should mean based off historical context. All right, for that right there. We're going to take a look back, speaking of a historical context, at the 2022 signing class and see what that looks like. Kind of top heavy as of now, based off results. It's a loaded local hour, and we're glad to have you here. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button, like, subscribe, and rate and review. And if you miss any portion of tonight's broadcast, it will be made readily available, however, wherever you get your podcast. So just check us out there. Let's kick it off with these exit interviews. Like I said, you guys seem to enjoy these, so let's talk about it. Let's start with our man, Oscar Delp. Do we want to have one of you guys play one of these players?
Role play?
You want to role play?
I'll role play.
All right, let's role play.
Whoa.
Come on in, Oscar Mayer winner.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Good, man. Just figure we break the ice. I know there's a little tension.
Yeah.
You know, Oscar Mayer, come on, sit on down. Let's get to the meat of things right here. So, yeah, year 3, Oscar didn't quite go as well as we thought it would, huh, bud?
No, it didn't. I think we all had higher expectations for him.
And honestly, Oscar, as your football coach, I want to take a little bit of responsibility for that. I felt like we probably could have gotten you involved in the passing game just a little bit more.
Yeah.
But we did spend some money trying to get Jurasic out of the transfer portal. And obviously, I mean, you walk around with Lawson Lucky in the building every day. You understand that guy deserves a right to get the football in his hands a little bit. But I do want to take a little bit of personal accountability for not getting you the football as much as we possibly could have this year. But I'm going to be honest with you, Oscar. You had your position coach, Todd Hartley, go out there in front of that snake pit that is the media pool at the university. They're awful. Okay, had him stand out there in front of that snake pit of a media pool, and he dared to tell the world that you are our most fundamentally sound tight end that he's ever coached. Oscar, that guy's coached a dozen NFL tight ends, and I think you would agree this year, Oscar, you were not yourself in the run game. You just weren't. You weren't up to the standard, were you, bud?
No, I don't think I was, Coach.
Now, I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is. But this year, I can make you a promise. All right? We'll make you a promise right here in front of you and whoever came here with you, whether it be your agent, whether it be your mama or your daddy. I'm going to tell you all right now. If you give me the effort and the requirement and meet the standard that is Oscar Delp blocking as an end-of-line tight end, okay? And if you are dominant out in the screen game, getting out in space, blocking guys who are smaller than you with high levels of effort, if you return to that Oscar Delp, I can promise you right now, Oscar, we will get you far more heavily involved in the passing game.
As Oscar's agent, I just have one question for you, Coach. This is a pretty pressing one. You know, we decided to come back to Athens for one more season, so we're hoping to be more involved in all the things that you're already mentioning. So that's great to hear from our side. But my question is, Lawson Lucky is also coming back. This guy, Elias Williams, is also coming into the room. Jaden Riddell, also one of these names. what does that look like for my client here coming in for a fourth year? I want to make sure that his production remains the same. I understand you got to give touches and love to other players that have earned it in practice, but what does that look like for my guy?
Oscar, I'm going to need you to put your earmuffs on, son. I'm going to need you to walk out the room right quick.
Yes, sir.
So go ahead, walk out the room. Let's talk to you, Mr. Agent, man. Let's be real. Buddy, if you had options, you'd be gone. If you had a chance, if your client had a chance to go get drafted in the third round, he'd be gone right now. Okay? So don't you come in here, all right, getting lippy in my room, talking about what's available for us. I don't know. You got Elias Williams behind your client? Tell your client he better beat Elias Williams out every single day. Okay?
Fair coach.
Here around Georgia, we call that the standard. All right? Mm-hmm. Oscar, come on back in.
Okay, coach.
I got to tell you, son. I got to tell you, son. Who you surround yourself with, a very important thing. You better watch this little snake.
The hell did you talk to him about?
I'm here for you.
Okay, he's going to get you in trouble.
Oh, man.
Watch who you keep around you, son.
A new agent.
Thank you, Oscar, for coming in, son. I'm excited about this upcoming year for you. Remember, we need you to lock in on them rundowns, baby.
Yes,
I need
sir.
you to lock in that extension. And I need you, for the love of God, I need you to pay attention to who you bring around yourself, son.
Big year for us. Let's go.
Kid thinks he's got leverage walking in my room. Appreciate you, Oscar. All right, up next, come on in, KJ. Come on in, KJ Bolden. First of all, KJ, can I get you anything to drink, son? Would you like a water? How about a Mystic Mountain Blueberry Powerade? Would you like that? Anything to make you more comfortable. We got some fresh fruit available as well. Are you good?
I'm more of a red Powerade guy.
A red Powerade? We can get you some fruit punch action going on in here as well. How's Mama? How's Daddy?
Oh, they're great, coach.
Everything good? You happy?
Yeah.
I'm just making sure. By the way, KJ, we went ahead and already established and deposited that extra raise that we promised upon, getting here, being a dominant freshman that we already thought you were going to be. So great job on you meeting, the expectations that you had coming into here. So you've already been rewarded with a nice pay bump, son. So congratulations on that.
Oh, I appreciate that.
But KJ, it's time to get down to the nitty gritty here. Okay, son. We gave you that pay raise. And with extra money comes extra responsibility, okay? And I'm not talking about staying out of trouble. You do a great job of doing that, KJ. So keep doing that. Make sure we're not doing none of that fast stuff in them fast cars that this extra pay raise is going to allow you to go get. Here's what I'm talking about. I need you to grab the reins of this defense, KJ. You are a natural born leader. You are a man amongst men. I need these people to follow you. I need you from this point forward to be the guy that everybody looks to. They already do, KJ. Everybody around you, since you have started playing football, looks to you to see what to do. I need them to look to you this year and see the right thing over and over again, son. And if this is your damn agent over here about to raise his hand and talk to me, he can find out what happened to Oscar's agent.
I would like to ask a question because I feel I'm ready for this position as well, but I need some reassurances, and not monetary reassurances, but I need to know when I walk out on that football field, and maybe some guys feel like I'm stepping on their toes because I want to be the alpha in this room just as much as anybody. Yeah. I want to get into somebody's ass and tell them that they're not doing their job. I want to be that type of guy, but I think I also need the support from you as still an underclassman, might have some upperclassmen feeling some type of way, but I need to know that I got the backing from you to kind of do that.
I would also like to add in this reassurance.
Who the hell are you? Who the hell are you?
I'm his agent. Hello,
okay.
Nice to meet you.
If you were Mama, I was going to be like, my bad for the tone, Mama.
No.
Go ahead.
Do you think my voice would be this deep if I was his mama?
I hope you wouldn't be role playing that hard.
Can't make assumptions.
Dude, I'm trying to be an actor. Chill.
Come on.
Either way, what kind of reassurance? Obviously, KJ got to work alongside Malachi Starks. Should we all assume that he's going to be an NFL draft pick, a very high first-round NFL draft pick?
Yes, sir.
The talent surrounding my client this year, I know, and expecting, a first-round player in the NFL is a bit much, but can you assure me that the talent at the safety position will be adequate for my client so that he's not solely the person, quote-unquote, carrying this room?
I mean, I'm pretty sure you're a CAA agent right here because you're representing KJ Bolden.
Yes.
You're a big league agent. You probably represent Zachariah Branch, whose brother Zion just showed up as well. So what we did, KJ, is we tried to throw as many bodies at the room as we humanly possibly could. All right. And you've played alongside Ja'Cory Thomas in the lead up to becoming a starter on this roster. You've ran with the twos. You've played alongside number 20. You know he's a serviceable player in this conference. So at bare minimum, we've got you an SEC quality starter alongside of of you. And by the way, Jono Aguero right in front of you at the star position in year 2. He's going to solve most of the run game problems in front of you. He's going to do a great job running the alley. And by the way, you already know we've got some of the best corners in college football protecting things up front. All you got to do is play deep center field safety, KJ.
Honestly, Coach, it sounds like my agent sounds a little scared right now. I just want you to, I'm not scared. We can play defense with 10 people, and I'm going to do my job. I'll do 2. So I ain't worried about who's playing next to me. We just put a guy out there. I'll do my part, maybe even some more.
I like your attitude, KJ. That's why I said, son, you're an alpha. All right, I need all these other wannabe alphas to look to you and to become one. That's what I need, son. Go make it happen. It's good work. It's good work right there. Let's go. Let's bring on the next one. CJ Allen. Come on in, CJ. Come on in. Sit down, son. CJ, I need it, man. I need it bad, CJ. I need you to take those flashes that we see constantly. All right, and I need to make those flashes the constant. That's what I need this year. I need to take those flash plays and make them a thing on a down-to-down basis. CJ, you've never had a bad day here, son. Never had a full bad practice. Hell, son, you never even had a full bad game. The 2 years that you've been playing meaningful snaps here, I can't point to a single performance where I was like, damn, CJ was bad today. But what I need this coming up next year, I don't need good enough. I need great, CJ. I need a year 3 pop from you, buddy. Being a good enough linebacker isn't what the Lord put you on the planet to be. You are meant to be great. I need you to be great in 2025, whatever it takes. So here's what I need, CJ, before we start asking questions. I need you to get faster. I need you to start shedding blocks a little bit faster. And I need you certainly to work on your hand fighting skills this year, CJ, because next year we're going to need you to start getting after the quarterback in some simulated pass rush settings because we don't have as many dudes as we used to in front of you. And by God, I swear to God, if you bring an agent in this room, I'm going to throw you out.
Honestly, Coach, I'm not sure if I have an agent sitting next to me right now, but I did want to ask, what were some of the areas that I have specifically that I need to improve on to be the best player that I can be? Because I know that in your system, under your lineage, that linebackers in their 3rd year starting, this is usually the money-making year for us. So like you said, shedding blocks, being faster at the point of attack, what other areas specifically can I improve in so that I live up to the hype that it seems like everyone else is creating for me?
Yeah, we had that big pass, interception against Florida. I need to see more of those. I need to see you really impacting the game on 3rd down as well. And I don't just need to see that, CJ. The NFL needs to see that as well. If we're going to be $100 millionaire, if we're going to go back down to Southwest Georgia and build mansions, all right, for mama, daddy, and all the siblings, we better go get that $100 million payday. And the only way we're going to do that is to stay on the field on 3rd down, CJ.
Hey, Coach, you mind if I bump in real quick?
Who are you?
Coach Shu.
Coach Shu. Yeah, come on, Shu. Come on, Shu, baby.
I'm in here just to kind of...
Hey, by the way, Shu, thanks for sticking around another year this year. I know UNC got a little hairy. Shout out to Bill Belichick. Appreciate you for sticking.
Athens is home. I want to treat it like that.
Hey, no doubt.
Here. Especially love being here because of what we're bringing back in CJ.
Big facts.
I just kind of want to align of what the path has been for him because the path for all of our linebackers has kind of been what you have been on, CJ, in the sense of year 3 is always the money year. You look back at Nakobe Dean. His big year was right there at the end of his career, his final year as a starter. Jalen Walker this past year, he's a prime example of this. Samal Munden, he's dealt with injuries. It wasn't year 3 for him, but his final year, he played some of the best football of his life. The final stint of his career, Georgia, in the second half of this season, Roquan Smith exploded onto the scene in his final year at Georgia. So although maybe the statistics haven't been up for you, just know that year 3, we can craft a plan for you, and we'll make sure that you are that high-round linebacker for us and make sure that you are in the contention for the Buckus Award at the end of the year.
That's why we pay that guy $2.1 million a year right there. That's why he makes 1/4 of what I make. 1/5. Excuse me.
Good job,
sorry,
Coach.
Shu.
Don't discredit me.
Sorry, Shu.
4th is more than 1/5.
I know. 1/5. You make 1/5 as much as me. I make 10.2. You make 2.1. 1/5. Nate Frazier, come on in, son. Before we get started, Nate, I just want to let you know I spoke to the local private jet company, okay? And this off season, we have already taken care of it. You can fly back and forth from Athens private jet airspace over to California and back any given weekend you want. If you get homesick this summer, don't worry about it. We got a PJ access for you. All flights and all expenses paid. Don't ask how it happened. Matter of fact, don't ask how this happened either. That nice little apartment you got, I know it's going to sound crazy. We done upgraded you. We done put you in a new one. And don't even worry about calling a moving company. We done did it for you. As you were walking into the building, we had our magic minions just move all that shit over to a brand new apartment. And it's nice. It's nice and spacious for you, okay? I know that sounds insane, but buddy, We're just trying to make sure you're happy. We're just trying to take care of you. I know you're getting phone calls, all right? Great job this season. In all seriousness, great job this season. We needed the juice around the building, Nate. We needed it. We needed a positive, big smile on the face, high energy juice man around the building. That's exactly what you bring. All right, now here's what I need from you this offseason, Nate. I need you to bulk up. All right, I don't need you to get huge, but I need you to get bulked up. And here's the reason why. You already know it. We're going to give you a bunch of carries this year. Trevor's gone. All right, it's you. It's you. It's you. We need you to bulk up this season to really handle the increased workload. Also, really need you to work on ball security this offseason, okay? So when we're working with our private trainers, when we're working on jump cuts, we're working on this high and tight. High and tight across the chest plate. As we say back in my day, son, high and tight like tiki. All right, I need that thing tucked away. All right, other than that, we're good, honestly. Honestly, my question for you, Nate, is are we doing a good enough job, son?
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Ball security, definitely something I'm going to work on this offseason to be better at that. Excited to be the lead guy. I thought my boy Trevor was coming back. We were going to be the tandem yet again, but I know he's got to go to the NFL. He's got to get his money while he can. So excited to be the lead back. My only question is, this year, it was a little frustrating being in the running back room because we kept throwing the ball a whole lot, and I don't want to do any of my teammates dirty, but there was a lot of drops. I mean, I believe we led the nation in drops, and I feel like the running back room, we were doing what we could at times, and I feel like we were the most explosive part of this offense, and I feel like I can bring that this year. So I just want to make sure, especially with Gunner, he adds a great ability to the run game. He needs to get his touches as well, but I just want to make sure I'm going to get my fair shake this season and really try and be the difference maker on this offense that I think I can be.
Now, Nate, son, I love you. But we're a we organization, not a me organization. Now, that's first and foremost. Don't worry about you. Okay, let's worry about we, and that'll take care of you. But I want to address the elephant in the room that you're talking about. Boxes did get crowded. Drops were happening. Explosive run lanes were not created. So I am with you, son, especially when you turn on that tape of that Ohio State team that I know's calling you. And if they do it again, I'm calling the NCAA that doesn't exist. You hear me, Ohio State? All right, so I know you're getting tampered with, son. I know that's where these questions are coming from. But I'm here to tell you, we got a running quarterback coming up next year. You saw what happened in that Texas football game. Run lanes for Trevor started opening up. Had a 45-yarder right down the sideline against the nation's best run defense, okay? So things are looking brighter for you. Not to mention, I like what Daniel Calhoun's going to bring to this run game next year. I have lots of aspirations for him.
Agree there, Coach. Agree.
Oh, Lord. What do we got coming in now?
Hey, Coach, it's Ron Corson. Just walked by. I heard you were talking to Nate Frazier, and just wanted to kind of mention something here. Seems like a lot of recent trends. You've had running backs that have really, really promising freshman years, the Branson Robinsons of the world, the Roderick Robinsons. But it seems like that sophomore, they kind of deal with a little bit of injuries. Kendall Milton went through it as well. What are some ways I can help you and Nate can help himself in kind of preventing this from happening? Because he's going to be a workhorse for you sophomore.
So, Ron, I appreciate you for being in the room right here, man. I really do. I mean, 25 years of experience on this roster? I mean, on this program. You predate my playing years, it seems, at this place. So I appreciate you for being here, Ron. You are very old. I appreciate you for being here, okay? But what I want to preface this with is you just heard me tell this young man he needs to bulk up this offseason. So here's your job, Ron. You've got to make sure that as he goes to put muscle mass on, we do not tighten any of those, ligaments around those surrounding muscles. As we build our quads, we got to make sure that ACL, MCL, and PCL stay limber. All right, stay loose, ready to pop and get jumped on. All right, so that's your job, Ron.
Gotcha. I can do that for you, Coach. You think we can handle that, Nate?
Oh, you ain't got to worry about me.
Hell yeah.
That segment worked way better with you guys here than it did by myself.
The funniest part about that was none of that was like show notes. Right? Like usually a lot of the stuff we have mapped out is like we kind of know what we're going to say. That's pretty candid.
I ain't going to spill the bag. They don't know what's real.
I think it's more impressive when people know this wasn't all scripted.
Speaking of impressive, what a comeback. What a comeback in the fantasy updates.
Ah, yes. I think I was down, I was 1-5 at one point, wasn't I?
Yeah. I think you went on to win the rest of the games after that. That's just kind of a synopsis of how the fantasy season went. And not to any of your own doing, Brooks. I mean, it was just some bad luck with the players that you drafted. Of who could have foreseen that Branson was going to miss the entire second half of the year? Who could have foreseen that Rod Robb was going to have turf toe all the way until the Georgia Tech game? And then who could have known what Colby Young was going to end up doing? But anyways, so this is from the Notre Dame Sugar Bowl. This is the final game of the fantasy season. ETN got you 49. Arian Smith got you 71. Munden got you 14. Other defensive players pitched in a couple 1s and a 4 and a 2. So that gave you a total of 142 from the Sugar Bowl. Kirby, you got 41 from Frazier. You got 39 from Dylan Bell. You got 39 from Lovett. You got 20 from Delp. And then a couple 4, 5s, 3s, 4s, and 3s on the defensive side of the football. That gave you 157. That brings you to 7-5 on the season. Yes, we did miss a couple of games. We're not going to mention it. And then a total points for the season of 2,461. Brooks ended the year with 1,846.
Pepsi bottle, Coca-Cola glass. I don't give a dime.
So funny because start of the year, I could not get away from the trash talking. Just, you picked a terrible team, and now all of a sudden he wants to kick his feet up on the desk and go, I don't care. This is a dumb game anyways.
Sweat off the old back.
What was the agreement?
Is that the expression?
I don't know.
Rolled right off the old back.
Wasn't there some punishment or prize that we got like whoever won this? I know it's me versus J-Will next year.
I don't remember such a thing.
I don't know if we should do that because he deals a lot of things. One of the things he's probably not going to do is go run down fantasy numbers every single week. So it might just need to be us versus the boss man. That's knowing your personnel, knowing your players.
Yeah, a little KYP right there. I like that.
That's fair.
Just kind of putting that out there.
Or we could just disband
he's doing film studies
say
and everything.
I'm the GOAT, only one to ever win it. I'm fine with that as well, either one.
We're definitely running it back next year. I'm just not running stats.
I guess one of us can do it.
Grab an intern?
Oh, even better.
Grab an intern. We do
one
need
of our many interns that we have disposable.
We need
this establishment
in this massive, overhead of business right here. We got plenty of spare people laying around to get after it.
Where's my coffee?
Make me a bicycle.
What people
clown.
don't see is that there's 15 people behind that camera sitting at desk in little cages right now. That are just eagerly awaiting us to give them commands.
Yeah, back there in that gym that I built that I never use.
Yeah, there's currently a rake leaning up against the barbell.
that rake, rake was J-Will.
J-Will's over there propped up. Did you watch the show? The show you were sick, Brooks said that this is an accurate representation of J-Will, and he laid the rake at your desk and then put a shirt over it and was like, "Here's J-Will for the show."
A rake?
Because you were.
I mean, it was the tallest, slenderest thing we had in the studio that's not named J-Will.
Yeah. I mean, I did not watch that show. I'm good about watching show when I'm not there, but that was not a day where I really wanted to be putting my attention.
How bad was it?
It's one of the most horrible things I've ever gone through. I mean, I'm talking.
How many yaks?
So
over under 15.
I won't give you a number because I definitely did not count. But so I got home from show.
If you lost count, it was over 15.
Yeah, definitely. Like from the time I got home from show, which was like 10:40, from 10:40 until 4 a.m., it was like every 15 minutes.
How much weight did you lose?
I don't know. I didn't even bother stepping on a scale.
Might sound like something I want to have.
No, you don't.
Sounds like a quick and easy way to lose 15.
No, it's not easy. It's not easy
bulimia.
at all.
It's called thinking outside the box, Kirby.
I don't think that. I think that's a very unoriginal thought, and I think that's what gets you into mental institutions.
Would not recommend.
False allegations. Yeah, we can do fantasy next year. I just don't know how it's going to work.
We can figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll make it work.
We've got a long time to figure it out.
Because you definitely earned the right to play it again next year.
I think so.
And I definitely earned the right to not have to do that bullshit in terms of counting those stats.
Yeah. We'll take care of it.
How hard was it?
Once you do it a couple times, it's not that hard because you kind of remember all the point values. But it's just a matter of counting it up, putting down every player. That's it.
Sounds like towards the end of the season, he started mailing in his stat collection.
No.
I think this season needs to be called
Sounds
under review.
Your team.
These are very serious allegations.
Collusion.
Brother had a 5-1 lead and blew every single game after that. That's worse than the Falcons in the Super Bowl. Sorry to my Atlanta fans. I know there's a lot of you out there that's a sensitive. I'm sorry. But that is the biggest, crumbling.
That was very unnecessary, but continue.
2026 big board time. All right, we've been doing this. We've done this with quarterbacks. We've done this with running backs. We've done this with offensive tackles. We've still yet to do this with interior offensive linemen. We'll get to that. Today is defensive tackles, okay? Now, This is, and I've been talking about it being a local thing, all right, being a local state of Georgia thing in 2026, how it's kind of a down year. I think it's down nationally at the defensive tackle position, okay? I don't think there is a blue chipper nationally. In fact, the highest ranked defensive tackle consensus is a guy by the name of Richard Anderson out of Edna Carr. He's a big 6'4", 320-pounder that's already committed to LSU. He's pretty good. I mean, he's really good, I should say. But there is no, if you're looking for a Justice Terry this round, if you're looking for an Elijah Griffin this round, I just don't think that one's available, okay? So you're going to have to squeeze the value out of everything that you can. So we're going to start pretty much with in-state football players like our man Deuce Gerald's right here from Collins Hill. Deuce just received an offer from the University of Georgia, despite the fact that Kirby, I know you know this, but I don't know if the audience does. I host an awards gala alongside Alex Benson of Born to Compete every single year. That awards gala is given out, or awards are given out to the best middle school and elementary school players in the country. Deuce Gerald's, Kirby, was the first Player of the Year award that I ever awarded while giving this awards gala, ceremony speech. So this has been a guy that has been a dude for a very long time, and particularly in this state with regards to young prospective football players. Now, here's what I love about Deuce, and I've even told Deuce this. Deuce was one of these football players that was great as an 8th grader because he very clearly hit puberty before everybody else. He was bigger, he was faster, he was stronger than everybody else. And now, Deuce is not 6'4" anymore. All right? He's not the biggest, the fastest, the strongest in these football players that we're going to watch. In fact, I think Deuce is under 6'2". I think Deuce is under 280 pounds. He's relatively sawed off at the defensive tackle position. Here's what I love about this football player. Despite the fact that physically he may not have gotten tremendously better, he's gotten way better as a football player. He's developed and he's worked, all right, and worked, and he makes plays on Friday nights. And you can see him. He's a nice, easy wife scout right here at Collins Hill. You can tell which player we're identifying and paying attention to today. All right. Just got an offer from Georgia, and I think the reason it took a little while for this guy to get the offer is because of the physical limitations, all right, at least from a measurement standpoint, all right. He's not 6'3", he's not 300 pounds, which is kind of the metric right here. But look, right here, 19.75 miles per hour as a running back at 275 pounds. He's a really, really good athlete. Yeah. If you're projecting this out, you're hoping this is Grady Jarrett. What's the question? You got one?
No, I was just saying that big, moving that fast is horrifying.
Yeah. Or like an Ed Oliver. Okay, remember Ed Oliver out of Houston, been a 8-9 year pro for the Buffalo Bills. This is what you're hoping if you're taking a guy like Deuce Gerald's. All right, the other thing that I love about Deuce, he is an alpha competitor. All right, this is a defensive tackle version of Jordan Carter. I think he and Jordan Carter would be best friends if they went to the same school because they approach football the same way, as if it is a live or die type of thing. They play with their hair on fire. The other thing that I love about Deuce, every camp I ever go to, not only is he present, he is a rep hound. All right, he's going to take as many reps during one-on-ones as you could possibly get.
I'm going to ask this while tapes are playing. What would you say is the physical ceiling for him? Because you have to imagine that you can either put on weight or lose weight when you get to Georgia. Where would you say that frame is going to maximize at? Has he maxed out yet, or is there still some room to grow? I
don't know. I don't think he's gotten any taller in the last 2 years of high school. So I think we might have reached our physical ceiling in terms of height. Now, how much can the body actually physically develop? That's another question. We're 275 pounds, already a tremendous athlete. If anything, we might get a little bit heavier. Yeah. Might move up to like 285, might play at 290. But with this type of, he's going to play 3-tech in college. With this type of 3-tech, I'm fine with him being 280 pounds. All right, I'm fine with being 285 pounds. Y'all gotta remember, and I'm not saying he's this, but Aaron Donald played NFL football like 270 pounds. If you can be really, really strong, and if you can be really quick, have an elite first step, get in on the chest of football players, we can defy all of those length issues. Okay? I love the effort, man. God. I love the effort. I'm all about signing football players like this in the world of college football that we live in.
Block a field goal here?
Yeah, we're going to get after. Look at the first step, too. That's the reason he got to block the field goal.
The kicker got smoked, too.
He's going to go get a block at the end of this. I can guarantee it. Yep. He's going to push that guy right out of bounds.
Oh, my God. It hit his face.
Yeah, that's Southwest DeKalb right there that he's playing. Or not Southwest DeKalb. It's Central Gwinnett. Excuse me. And that's Grayson right there. So that's him getting after a really, really good left tackle.
So it looks like he plays a 9 in high school.
He plays it all. Plays a little 3-tech, plays a little wide 9 on pass rushing downs, plays a little 4-eye, plays a little head up 5, or head up 4. Plays a good bit of everything. He's right there at 3-tech right there, outside shoulder of the guard, going to read counter and shut it down. I like the tape right there. I'm not in love with the physical measurements, but I'm not in love with anybody in this class at the defensive tackle position. Let's move on to Bryce Perry-Wright, another kind of late offer from the University of Georgia. This is a guy that I think got a Clemson offer as a true freshman at Buford. This is the nephew of Marcus. What's Marcus's last name? Played edge for Georgia, wore 38, had the sack in the Sugar Bowl against Hawaii.
Oh my God.
Chat's already got it.
I can see the play.
Howard, Marcus Howard. I was about to go to my text messages and check Marcus's text messages. No, Marcus Howard is this guy's, I think, uncle, all right, and has been training him forever. So guess what we're about to see on this tape? We're about to see really, really good hand fighting. We're not going to see a guy that's blocked very long right here in Bryce Perry-Wright. Again, another guy that Georgia was relatively late on because of the physical limitations of the body size, all right? This is a 6'3", 270-ish pound football player, all right? Not huge, all right, but really, really impacts the game and gets after it with his hands. All right, it's an 18-minute highlight film, by the way. This guy did nothing but make plays. Nothing but make plays. And you talking about being strong in the run game, Kirby. Watch this rep right here. All right, I think this is the rep. He's going to shuck this guard, press him out, okay, keep outside shoulder lean, rip off, and make a tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Doesn't lose an inch either.
No, he does not. And that's against Carrollton State Championship contender. All right. Other reason I think the film's 18 minutes long. We probably could have cut some stuff out.
I was going to say.
Probably could have trimmed some pre-snap
We're going to go another
footage.
10 seconds, but I mean, they're going to call in.
Yeah, probably could have done some
You have
stuff.
a good day, Brooks?
Huh?
You have a good day?
I had a great day.
It's awesome, man.
Thought I got a lot done today. Thought I've gotten a lot done the last couple of days here in the stew.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Here we go.
Play started. Ooh.
Yeah. He's going to run it down. I think we get another pass rush rep here next snap. No, this might be another run fit. Oh, about lost a kneecap right there.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
That turf monster. I like the cleanliness of this prospect. I like the fact that he comes from a program like Buford, that I know he's going to come to college and know how to practice and understand what professional football looks like, because that's what he's been playing since he's been in high school.
So it seems like the prospect, I mean, now you've shown us 2 right now, but it seems like the prospects this year are more, physical abilities, fundamentals based as they are traits.
Yeah.
What can you do? What are you going to look like?
Let's go look at these next couples. All right, because those are the 2 really clean prospects that might not have the highest physical ceiling. Look at the dumper on this dude, Kirby. Look how big this kid is from the lower half. All right, look how thick this dude is. This is my man. I think it's Kendall Gervin. Yeah, it's Kendall Gervin from Florida. This dude's got real thick lowers. This is more of a physical projection. This isn't a very clean football player by any means. This is a strong-ass, rooted-up football player.
It doesn't look twitchy, but
no,
he looks like a tree trunk.
And by the way, the first time I ever watched, and even to this day, and this is going to sound crazy, you know who I've never found to be the first thing I ever say about him to be twitch? Yeah, he might go down as the greatest defensive tackle of all time.
Jordan Davis.
Jalen Carter.
Really?
Yeah, I've never watched Jalen and felt like he was Aaron Donald. I've always watched Jalen and thought he was the strongest dude on the field. When he touches people, it looks like they explode.
I think the violence at the point of attack for Jalen Carter was...
And that's what I'm talking about.
It's like, oh, shit.
When he puts his hands on you, it's like he has dynamite at the extent, like impact grenades on Call of Duty. It's like, boom, as soon as he touches you. That's what I've always felt about Jalen. I never immediately started the eval with, oh, God, this guy's going to run 4.58. Look how great of an athlete he is. I've always started with, Jesus, he doesn't get moved. Like, nobody's ever moving this guy. And he runs right through massive human beings. Yeah, we're real strong in the run game here on this eval. All right, this might be, honestly, they don't have nose tackle projections.
What's his measurement?
Yeah, I got to find out. I think it's on my list. I can pull it up. My phone's over there.
Like, you don't need a 0 to...
That's what I'm talking about. Look at the lower half on this guy. When you get that all 22 in, and you start to see what he looks like from the waist down, this is a big-ass SEC football player. I'm going to get you measurements, Kirby, since you asked.
Because I was going to say, like, explosiveness and twitchiness isn't necessarily something that requires you to be a good zero, holding your ground and maintaining a double team is more what you're going to need from that. And I think that based off what we've seen here, this is definitely what he's more. Now, granted, if he's 6'3" or something like that, he's probably not going to end up being that for you. But
all right.
I also don't love the stance.
No. He looks tight, doesn't he?
Yeah.
All right. Kendall Gerbil is 6'4", 275 pounds.
Okay.
I don't have arm length on him. But obviously, they have a commit at the defensive tackle position in this class already. It's 7 Cloud, the transfer from Butler Community College, who, by the way, per their board per their rankings that I'm privy to, the highest ranked player in the class for them at the defensive tackle position. This man right here might be the freak that they're waiting on. Ernest Rankins from Lithonia High School. All right, so state of Georgia football player. Ernest is 6'6". All right, Ernest is 6'6". 6'4" and 1/4, 290 pounds. He lists himself as 6'6", so he's 6'5". He's 6'5", 290 pounds. Let's take a look at this tape right here. And by the way, on my man Ernest, we have 9-inch hands and 35-inch arms. Whoa. Is this offensive tape?
No, he was
playing defense. Okay. Yeah, he has 35-inch arms, guys.
I can see that.
This is him right here.
We got a wife scout.
Holy hell.
Wife scout on it. Watch his stance.
Holy hell.
Wife scout.
I missed the first snap of a 35-second highlight tape. Let's go back. Sorry. I was busy looking at links.
Looks like this might be a bad comparison. It reminds me of Godzilla. Godzilla doesn't move super fast, but just destroys everything in his path. Like, he can push over a skyscraper.
Oh no, it's Godzilla.
Yeah.
It actually looks like Godzilla, but it is not Godzilla.
Poor,
I'm quoting Austin Powers, by the way, folks. Poor quarterback. We don't have a full highlight tape on Ernest.
Not a full season highlight tape.
All right, Ernest is a guy I think just recently picked up a Georgia offer, maybe this past cycle or coming up this spring, but a big name to know on that Georgia spot or Georgia big board. Now, Tico Crittenton. This is a name that I like a lot. Now, this is actually the kid from Lithonia. My bad. The other kid we just got done watching is from Southwest DeKalb. That's on me. I think this is who they're playing right here, actually, ironically. This is the measurements guy, Kirby. This is raw as can be. This is big, physical. Maybe we take him for traits type of eval right here in Tico Crittenton.
Whoa.
Yeah, watch him run through somebody. Yeah, he broke that dude's soul. I think that dude...
Way faster first step than I was expecting just from the stance.
From the stance. The stance is stiff and ugly, isn't it?
Stance is stiff and ugly, but man, he exploded out of that.
He looks long. You can see it in that tape right there. He looks real long.
I mean, Lord. That pulling guard didn't know what to do when he was there.
Tico is 6'4", 280 pounds with with
the rib.
33.5-inch arms.
Have you seen this highlight?
This player, I haven't watched this at all.
Poor offensive lineman.
That's Arabian Mountain, I'm pretty sure. Poor quarterback. Yeah, the first thing we're fixing is the stance, Kirby. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, that's 2 weeks of spring camp, and you're easy.
Yeah, and just before we even get into spring camp, we get you in the squat rack and make sure your hips and your ankles are nice and loose. Mm-hmm. Get your form fixed.
In the spin move. He's hitting spin moves.
Who is 24? Who is 24? And why is he in 2-4? I need to find out about number 24 before the end of the night. Buddy, I might be taking a trip to Lithonia this year. Look at all these dudes. Hell, the corner looks good. What was Lithonia's record this year, Jonathan? Will you look that up for me?
6-4.
Oh, man. Come on, Coach. You got a bunch of dudes over there, Coach. All right. Some good tape from those guys. But, again, we didn't see ain't no Justices there, right? Ain't no Elijah Griffins there. In the national landscape either. I told you at the start of that, it's not a tremendous class nationally, okay? I think the highest rated interior defensive tackle sits at number 36 overall. How'd we end up on the whiteboard?
I clicked the wrong button.
Number 24 is Jamari Davis, who is a rising senior.
Jamari?
Yes. He's listed at 6'1", 252.
6 what?
6'1", 252.
But he lists himself as 6'1", 240. All right, so maybe not quite Power 5 level. Looks like he's visiting Georgia Southern. So Jamari Davis definitely has a college football career, it looks like. He looked good on that tape. All those guys look bigger than I thought they actually measured in at on tape. Maybe it's because I've been watching too much college tape as of lately.
I'll go ahead and ask this just because I think it's a pertinent conversation we've had. We've talked about a lot how the highest of highs in college football are talking about how the product seems to be getting a little bit worse, whether it be NFL draft rosters or recruiting rosters. It just seems like, and Kirby Smart alluded to this, I think he called it the degrading of football or the...
Yeah.
So is this an example of this, or is this just, this is a one-off year where maybe the best talent isn't located in this area?
Well, I don't know. I thought football had a chance to be saved. Thought football had a chance to be saved with the banning of TikTok.
Oh.
The development of these young men. And the opposite of doom scrolling is Herschel Walkering back in the day.
Yeah.
Ain't had shit to do, so I'm going to push this here floor.
Push-ups and sit-ups, baby.
Ain't got shit to do, so I'm going to go race this here train.
Drag a tire around the track.
Ain't got shit to do, so I'm going to watch Julian Humphrey on TikTok do his stuff.
The noises your jacket just made.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, I mean, softening of America, corruption of the mind of the young people, everything's getting worse. He called it the deterioration of football.
That's what it was.
All right, the deterioration of young men, maybe that's to do with it. Or it's just a bad class.
Yeah.
I think it's probably just a bad class.
I didn't know if you want to put on the tinfoil hat or not. I know that there's a lot of people like, oh, here we go. Football's doomed. It's getting
Dabo
worse.
Sweeney got that drip. Now he's on TikTok.
That video is probably 5 years old now. Let's give Coach Sweeney some props for being a pioneer in the social media realm as far as head coaches go.
We're going to call him a pioneer?
Yeah, dude, he's cool. With the gloves on.
with the clips and gloves on.
Golly, dude.
Oh, man.
What's next?
Y'all have nostalgic tape for me.
We have nostalgic tape. We have Mike Bobo going into his third
you brought
year.
up Julian Humphrey, so I think that's a good...
2022 class.
Yeah.
Transition.
So I think it's a good time to take a... I just had a thought in my head today, while you and I were sitting in the studio this morning trying to think of article ideas, and I was like, the 2022 class is 3 years removed now, so I kind of wanted to go back and see how that entire class ended up shaping for Georgia. And the first thing that I kind of noticed is you got 3 home runs. You got absolutely 3 home runs. You had Jalen Walker in that class. You had Michael Williams in that class. You had Malachi Starks. I mean, that's 3 projected first-rounders in that class. So right off the bat, 3 home runs. Then in total, including those guys, you had 11 starters. The other guys on that list being Ernest Green has started for you, Dylan Bell, Dalen Everett, Drew Bobo, Gunnar Stockton, Oscar Dell, Brett Thorson, and Kristen Miller. A really good group of players right there. Obviously, Gunnar Stockton, very limited playing time so far. Drew Bobo got to start a couple of games. So those 2 you're still kind of evaluating so far. But, I mean, of that group, that's a really solid group. Where it gets really interesting, though, 15 transfers from this class.
All right, let's see if I can do this.
Oh, that'd be impressive.
Nyland Green.
No.
And he's off to a great start.
Let me give you a first.
Brock Vandergriff.
No. This is Gunner's class.
Yeah, you're listening to
Denylon Morissette.
There you go. There's one.
CJ Smith.
There you go. There's another.
That's 2.
Marvin Jones.
Yes.
3.
Sam Mpimba.
No.
He was class of 2020.
Marvin and Sam were in the same class.
He was not on this class list.
I think Sam was class of 21.
Oh, Sam was with Damon. You're right.
Would you like me to
Julian Humphrey.
Yeah, there you go.
CJ Washington.
There you go.
You're at 5.
I'm out.
All right. I'll read them off. This is the Bear Alexander
Darius
class.
Smith.
Darius Smith. There you go.
At chat.
Marvin Jones, Jaheim Singletary, Julian Humphrey, Alu Ba, Darius Smith, Marcus Washington, CJ Madden, Denylon Morissette, EJ Lightsey, CJ Smith, Shone Washington, Jacob Hood, Andrew Paul, and Griffin Scroggs.
There's 2 players on that list that are actually playing elsewhere. Darius got hurt at Missouri, but was going to play this year.
Mm-hmm. Marvin Jones played at FSU.
Marvin Jones. And then the third one in my mind was... Bear, 4th. There's another one in there that's actually getting reps.
Julian will get playing time, I assume, at Texas A&M.
Now, I wonder if we did this exercise with other football teams, because what we're talking about is a hit rate of about 50%.
Yeah.
Because you said 3 home runs, 9 guys who have made like starting roles on the roster, 3 or 4 guys that are backups and might impact the role or might impact the roster this year.
The other members of the class that weren't listed on either of those were Cole Spear, Ja'Cory Thomas, and Branson Robinson. So Ja'Cory Thomas and Branson Robinson, like, if Branson can get healthy and then Ja'Cory, he has an opportunity this spring to earn himself a starting role.
I mean, like, they took E.J. Licey late in the class.
Yeah.
They flipped him from Florida. He was an in-state kid from Fitzgerald. I mean, it was never – they didn't envision him ever really playing, I don't think, even though he made good strides as a practice player there. Played a lot at Georgia Tech this year, but, you know, I wouldn't call – a lot of those I wouldn't necessarily call misses. In years prior, those guys just sit on your roster for years and they're quality backups.
Yeah.
They never leave.
What should a hit rate be for your class for you to say that's a good class? I know you can look at the 2020 class and say there's 5 or 6 NFL players from there. What should it be of the 28 players you sign? How many of those should you expect either have meaningful snaps for you start or be great for it to say that's a good class? What's the percentage there? How many misses can you have before you go, this is a bad class?
Hell, I think what Ohio State just did was about 85% hit rate. It seems like at least they're blue chippers.
Yeah.
Look, and that's the key. Those top 20 guys in that class that you feel really, really solid about. I am of the belief that they're doing the right thing with that bottom 8, 9, 10 guys of their roster or their classes. Take stabs, man. Take guys that have a metric that you know is winnable, and you got to develop the other stuff to turn him into a Ladd McConkey. Take the Jordan Davis that you know is a massive human that can run like most massive humans can't, and develop him into something, right? Take those stabs. But those first 20 guys, they better be hits to be a successful class.
And I mean, to be fair, like the 3 guys that are going to be first rounders this year, all 3 were 5 stars coming out of high school. So like, based on that metric alone, you've done what you were supposed to with those 3 players. They're going to end up going in the draft where they're supposed to. And with even the names still on the list that haven't declared yet, like Christian Miller, if he duplicates what he did this past year, next year, he's going to be a high draft pick. I mean, Dylan Bell could have a resurgence of his draft stock. Gunnar Stockton could have a great Georgia career. Like, there's Oscar Delp could have a great 2025 season. I mean, so this is just 3 years into this class. So the jury's still definitely out in totality, but right now I'd say like getting 3 first rounders, that's a really good start.
I want to do this experiment tomorrow with comparable programs. I want to do this with Alabama. I want to do this with Ohio State, and I want to do this with, give me Tennessee.
Okay.
Friday show, let's go.
Damn.
Stored
about that.
It feels like a Monday, doesn't it?
That's sad.
It's weird.
You know what's really sad? When you look at your bank account and you see that you have subscription fees from companies that you haven't dealt with in years, things that you haven't used in forever, and they've just been sliding fees on you over and over and over again. It sure would be nice to have some type of maybe like a money managing app or some type of app that would notify me if I just gave them a couple dollars a month, if they would notify me of these charges that I was unaware of.
It really would be. I think there is one. I think it's called Rocket Money, and I think it's a personal finance app that helps you cancel unwanted subscriptions, and it can help you monitor your spending and keep your bills lower as well, so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions. That's saving members up to $740 a year.
What?
Yeah, a year. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/gameon today. That's rocketmoney.com/gameon.
That's a / right? Not a backwards. So it's a /.
Yeah, most /
game on. One word. Game on.
Everyone on the count of 3 will say it. rocketmoney.com/1.
Game on.
Game on.
Yes. Cannot count on this show. It's okay. Good job, everybody.
It was a lot smoother the way that we did it.
The read was fine.
There's no 1, 2, 3 in between the slash. It's rocketmoney.com/game on. Not 1, 2, 3 game on. It's just /game on.
Go to rocketmoney.com/game on. You know.
Hell yeah, man.
The read wasn't great, but damn, the app is good.
Damn, the app is good. Speaking of good, I mean, great. Brock Bowers this year.
Oh my!
No kidding.
It's unfortunate.
It's
unfortunate.
Why is it unfortunate?
Because someone might have been greater.
No.
Dude, what Jaden Daniels did this year was insane.
This is the unfortunate.
By the way, Jaden Daniels, bar for bar, had basically the same exact statistical year Lamar Jackson had last year as the MVP.
Yeah.
Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Dang,
And
Year
that's
one, walked in.
And that's
3,900 yards and 800 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Just year one.
That's the unfortunate thing, too, because if you ask the question, should Brock Bowers win Offensive Rookie of the Year? The answer is absolutely he should. What he's done at the tight end position as a rookie is unparalleled. I mean, he broke the NFL record for receptions by a rookie. That goes for all pass catchers, wide receiver, and tight end. The unfortunate thing is we've got a damn unicorn over in Washington right now with Jaden Daniels doing something that has never been done before. I mean,
damn VR nerd is what he is.
He's a game away from leading his team to from leading a bad football team.
Yeah.
The Commanders have not been a good football team in the last 5 or 6 years.
Since the name change.
Yeah, that's what it is, dude. Either way, a bad football team, a team that's been perennially a top 15 pick in the league, leading them to a Super Bowl as a rookie. I mean, Jaden Daniels hands down wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. It's very unfortunate, though, because Brock Bowers, what he has done this season is incredible. I mean, 1,000 receiving yards as a rookie on a Raiders offense that had a revolving door of shit at the quarterback position. And I can say that because I'm a Raiders fan. So it was very impressive, and it's
Desmond
one of the
Ritter threw balls to him.
I could say that because I got a Raider friend.
No, dude.
I can say because Desmond Ritter was throwing footballs to Brock Bowers at one
You
point.
stay away from my Raiders. Let me do all the trash talk.
You should have seen this man in New Orleans. The first day we got down there
dude,
was on Monday.
I was amongst my people.
And the Raiders had just played the New Orleans Saints on Sunday. And yeah, we're walking around and he realizes, oh my God, we're in Raiders country. Raiders fans walking around everywhere. He's like, I'm in my element. I got to go put my Raiders jersey on.
You brought a Raiders jersey?
It was a sweatshirt. I didn't have a jersey. I didn't fanboy out that much.
Yeah.
No, I did say.
But no, he had a good time.
I did say I had to go put my Raiders sweatshirt
What do you say to a Raiders fan when y'all see each other? Just go Raiders?
I mean, what you really do is yell Raiders like in public, like they do
just yell Raiders at
like
them.
Raiders, and then they all fall in. It's kind of cool.
The Raiders.
Yeah, it's sick.
The Raiders.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Raiders. Year 3 of Mike Bobo.
So
What does stats say about this, Curb? Is this good news? Is there a pop in year 3, or is it kind of the same thing?
I don't know what to make of. There's obviously a pop.
There's only been 2 coordinators that have made it to year 3,
correct.
right?
There's only 2 coordinators that flat out have made it to year 3 under Kirby Smart, Mike Bobo, barring some wild changes that we were not expecting.
I mean, bucket. It could happen.
Mike Bobo will be the 3rd offensive coordinator to have a 3-year tenure under Kirby Smart. And I pulled a lot.
Who gives a buck, honestly? Come on.
You're comfortable doing that. I'm not.
Is it making you a little blue in the stomach right now?
Yeah.
My bad. Continue.
I just hope it's not true. Per the reports, I just hope they're not true.
Yeah, per the reports, man, I really hope they're not true.
Either way. So Jim Chaney obviously was the first one. He started with Kirby Smart in 2016, coached 3 seasons. Year 1 was rough, 24.5 points per game, 319 yards per game, 1.4 touchdowns per game. Red zone percentages was 56%. The year 3 jump was massive, obviously 38.7 points per game, 530 yards per game, 2.14 touchdowns per game, and the red zone efficiency was 67%. Now, obviously, 2017 was Jim Chaney's best year, but that's because he had Nick Chubb and Sonny Michel in the backfield, so that makes sense. Todd Monken started out kind of rough, 32.3 points per game, 300.
That's 2020, yeah.
Yeah, 323 yards per game, 1.8 touchdowns per game. Red zone percentage was 61%. Jumps all the way to 2022. Massive jump, 41.1 yards per game, 616 yards per game, 2.93 touchdowns per game. Red zone touchdown percentage went up to 69%.
Did you just say 600 yards of offense per game?
616 yards of offense.
What was covering Georgia like at that time?
Pretty fun.
Really?
Yeah.
616.
That's insane.
They were putting it up, dude.
Maybe it was pretty good.
Nah, I mean, that was probably inflated by
Darnell, Brock.
Well, the fact you
A.D.
also
Mitchell,
all of them.
Ladd
you also
McConkey,
like had your way
Roger
with TCU
Jones.
and other. Yeah, but no.
Have I stopped with first rounders yet? I don't think I have.
Here's the most interesting part, though. Here's the most interesting part to me, though. Mike Bobo's first year, and everyone talks about, the offense took a big dip off. 2023, 40.1 points per game, 562 yards per game, 2.85 touchdowns per game, Red zone percentage, 69%. It's basically
Nice.
on par with what happened in 2022.
And I think we found the correlation there. It's the talent.
Correct.
Still had it.
Correct.
Still had it that year.
Now, here's the interesting thing.
And by the way, that 40 points per game, first time they'd done that since the last time Mike Bobo had done that
Yeah.
at Georgia.
Well, they did it in 2022.
I thought he was short. I think it was like 39.8.
41.1.
Oh, because of TCU.
Yeah.
Those clowns.
Elevated it. Either way, 2024 is obviously where things go kind of off the rails. 31.5 points per game, 5 down from last year. 441 yards per game, that's almost 80 less than last year. 1.7 touchdowns per game. Red zone touchdown efficiency went up, though. So obviously there is kind of a year 3 jump. And the year 2 kind of bump is it gets slightly better. It supposedly gets a little better, but not much better. Obviously, year 2 is a down year for Mike Bobo, but I think that judging by this, red zone efficiency stays fairly consistent throughout these guys, with the exception of Chaney. So there's no reason why you shouldn't think that they're going to be a more efficient team in 2025. I don't think they're going to be maybe super explosive. I don't think they need to be. I think something else you have to kind of pay attention to is the fact that in 2024, Mike Bobo had a team in Georgia coached against some of their toughest competition. You were on the road in Tuscaloosa. You were on the road in Ole Miss. You were on the road in Texas. Like, that is a monster of a schedule. You can't convince me that in 2022 or 2023, those numbers were going to look as inflated as they were. So I'm convinced that Mike Bobo is going to have a much better, and you'll see much more improvements from the offense in 2025.
Super interesting segment there. I've almost used an entire highlighter without losing it. I got this much left of this thing.
Would
it was
you
all the
like
way up
some
to here.
applause?
I've got this much left. Huh?
Would you like some applause?
I mean, kinda. You've been around me for 4 years now. I lose everything in my life.
The off-season milestones are just off to a hot start right now.
What's going to happen?
We're not losing highlighters.
For what he just did, I'm going to hide that damn highlighter when he goes upstairs tonight. And he's not going to be able to finish it.
That was a tremendous segment, though.
Yeah, thank you.
It was riveting.
I'm throwing your highlighter away when you go upstairs.
Well, this next one, I do think is going to be
I'm
a
going to
tremendous
sleep
segment.
with this highlighter.
Okay.
Nostalgia tape today, we got 2 of them.
You got 2 of them?
2 of them.
Oh, yes.
And both are absolute bangers.
Bangers! Let's do it. Excited. That is Pace Academy, and that is either Jamari Sawyer or no. That's either Jamari Sawyer or Andrew Thomas. It's Sawyer. I can tell by how big he is.
You're on the right track, but no.
Okay. Huh. Oh, no, it's Isaiah Wilson.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to see a tight end pop pass here in a second. Yeah, it's Isaiah Wilson. What a monster this human is.
Terrifying.
Good God.
I think this was like the first Kirby Smart recruit where people were like, oh, so this is why we hired him. These are the type of players we're going to get.
Out of the Big Apple, right?
Yeah.
Man. How's his SoundCloud rapping career going?
No idea.
No, I don't think it's great.
Not so hot?
Hadn't heard about it.
Did he at least get his signing bonus?
He was on the Giants. He got signed by Giants like 2 years ago, I think.
Man.
To their practice squad.
Oh, he hit the LeBron? I'm a fan. I'd have been all over it.
More defensive tackle footage than an offensive tackle.
I would have kind of been hesitant on this one because he runs like a cyborg everywhere he goes. Nothing looks smooth on this guy.
He looks like a bear.
Even when he kick-set it like this. You know, I'm like, all right, buddy, you're pretty good, but we got a ways to go. Didn't he almost die his first time at summer camp at Georgia?
Oh, no, yeah.
His first day outside in the heat, he almost overheated.
Poor kid. Not used to that.
That arrow is way off. That arrow's nowhere near where he's at.
I can imagine that was a big culture shock for him.
Yeah, I could too.
All right, let's show him the other one.
Yeah, let's get to the other one. This is not...
Do you want to fill him in on what this is?
Yeah, I'm going to preface this next one.
All right, no cheating.
Okay. Well,
no,
you're not going to get this one, but I'm just going to... I want to preface this.
You testing my game right now?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I was watching the NFL playoffs last weekend, and I was watching with some friends, and there was a guy there I'd never met before, and him and I started talking, talked about how he played some college football. I was like, oh, where'd you play? He's like, oh, well, let me show you my highlight tape. It might be the greatest highlight tape I've ever seen.
This guy didn't play at Georgia?
No. You'll appreciate it. This is D3 football. But this is some of the most electrifying tape I've ever seen in my life.
The X-Files. Is this kicking tape?
Oh, it's even better than kicking tape.
This is kicking tape on a 4.0 student?
Dude, he's the holder
of the year. Noah Wren. Hey, no shit. I went to high school.
Did you see how high that snap was? He caught
Dude,
that.
Are you hyping
it's electric.
this? Are you hyping this up right
Bro,
now?
he played on 1 fractured fibula and 2 ankle braces.
God's gift is hands. One awesome student athlete.
It's
Look
electric.
at the Photoshop job, too.
Noah Wren.
This is self-made.
Dope.
Hey, honestly, I went to high school with a kid, with a bunch of kids, 2 twins, and we kind of thick.
Oh, we got a
and he got a drippy handshake on here too. Went to a high school with a kid whose cousins was named Noah Wren. Maybe this is him.
Oh, might be.
Not many Noah Wrens running around.
Small
these
world.
days. Bro, this guy's clean.
crisp.
Gets the laces out and everything.
Protect my kicker? Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
True team guy.
While you're doing this, I want you to pull up Ethan Sewell, Landmark Christian highlight tape. Because this is, my buddy invented this. What this is a troll highlight tape. My buddy invented troll highlight tapes in 2013. Pull this up. Okay, go ahead.
Because we're doing this. But you got to go to the end. We got to go to the end.
Oh, we got to go all the way to the end?
We don't have to watch all of
We
it.
got to wait a whole nother minute of this?
Firm handshakes.
Oh, firm shakes?
Yeah. Handshakes.
Don't forget to dap up the line. Hell yeah.
I mean, just a true team guy.
Yeah, a real we guy.
Dab up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, that's college too. Mm-hmm. Damn, my man grinding. All right, so we're really pulling one here. We're pulling a buddy of mine's high school highlight tape.
What was his name again?
Ethan Sewell. That is Ethan spelled like Ethan, Sewell spelled like Sewell. Okay. Sewell. Landmark.
So helpful.
My man Ethan was a 5'11", 155 pounds soaking wet corner. Huh?
Is this a huddle find?
No, this is I played with. Yeah, it's on Huddle.
Okay.
But this is I played with this guy find. And if we could, we would play the audio, but we'd get clipped by Chief Keef. I hate being sober.
Ah.
Yeah. So I wasn't really trying to go to college to play football. If you
I
will.
believe the previous one had "All I Do Is Win" as.
Yeah, no, this is I Hate Being Sober by Chief Keef is the background to this here highlight tape. Did we find it?
Finally,
Yeah,
Rich
right
was like
here.
the first mixtape I listened to in elementary school. And I go, oh, this is what real rap music is.
Now, Ethan doesn't watch the show, but I'm definitely going to be sending him this clip. Now, what I loved about Ethan's highlight tape
Shit's 12
is
years old, Brooks.
is what?
12 years old.
Yeah, I know. I played a while ago. Now, there are some ball plays in this game. All right, there's some stuff like this.
Okay.
My man Ethan be bringing that stick now. All right, but what I really love about Ethan's highlight tape is what happens in a couple of minutes. And I've never seen it done in a high school highlight tape. We intercept this football in a playoff game. That's a big time play right there against Calvary Day. Get a big one right here. I believe this is Brooks Stone. Get a back end on this one, making interceptions. Great diving play right there. Tremendous job right there. Look at the drip on my man too. Got some good spat. Got some good tape. Good towel hanging out the back. Another little interception. Great at the high point right here. All right. Now we're gonna make a tackle. A little touchdown saving tackle. This dude went and played JUCO catcher, by the way.
Heck yeah.
All right, we got a ball player. Now, can we get to the real money down right here? Here it is right here. Now, let me preface this, okay? This is overtime, all right? This is Our Lady of Mercy. This is a rival school, okay? Let's play the play. Now, makes a great play. Breaks it up. Awesome. Then gets up, talks some shit, and we get a personal foul. And we leave it on the highlight tape. I love that. I love that. And the reason I love that the most is because we played single A private school football. Not a ton of fans out there. And what you could hear is my dad in the end zone going, "My God, Ethan, you stupid mother," in the middle of the game. Because it about cost us the football game. We went into overtime right after that. Ball at the 1. You get a personal foul on 3rd down. I mean, that's about as critical as it gets. And then you leave it on the highlight tape. That right there. To the background of I Hate Being Sober. That's a dub.
Doesn't get any better than that.
That's a dub, chat. That's what that is.
Ew.
Let the dubs fly, chat. As
By the
we
way,
leave
go
tonight,
back
let the
if
dubs
you want
fly.
to. Slow that down. Screenshot it, whatever. Number 77, that's your boy. Appreciate you for being here. We'll be back whenever we're back. All right? Probably on Monday.
We'll be back on Monday.
We'll be back on Monday. Going to have another film study coming up tomorrow, maybe. You want to get in and film one tomorrow?
It's up to you.
Let's do it. Appreciate you guys being